the dream journey begins for some. So we'll keep an eye on them as well. And all the kickoffs are next.
The winning team all season long. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Saturday, 3 o'clock, the place to be for football in the Scottish Premiership and beyond. Lots to look forward to, lots of games coming up, of course, as you can imagine, around the country at this moment in time. Hugh Keevins, minutes silence, I think minutes applause at some grounds as well. And I think already I don't think it's gone particularly well in terms of remaining silent at Ibrox. Dundee United fans, some of them seem to have made a bit of noise, and we'll go inevitably round and round on this stuff all weekend.
Yes, we will. I regret that you've brought that news to us. I think it's only fitting, decent, respectful that people just shut up for 60 seconds. That's all you've been asked to do. Just keep quiet for 60 seconds. You need not approve of the royal institution. You need not have anything to do with it whatsoever. Just remain quiet and then we'll all get on.
The games are underway, by the way, across the country now. In fact, you've got early goals going in down south. Nothing to tell you about up here. What are your hopeless predictions? I mean, you've even you had the weekend off of them last week. So I don't know if the chance to regroup, extra time in the gym to get your minds sharpened and focused. Who's going to win today?
Go on, Hugh. You just back from holiday.
Okay, I think Rangers will beat Dundee United, and I suspect by 4 or 5 goals.
Back with a bang.
Yeah,
St Johnstone will pick up where they left off against St Mirren and beat Ross County, who are currently having tremendous difficulty on the road. Livy, I think, will win against Kilmarnock at home, but it won't be 4 home wins in a row, because I think Aberdeen will beat Hibs at Easter Road.
Pretty simple for me. Rangers will beat Dundee United. And
great
the rest
chance
of them
already for Rangers. Ryan Kent 8 yards out inside the opening 2 minutes, but he fluffed it, as they say.
Oh, okay. Well, Rangers to win, and the rest are draws.
Just based on that chance.
The rest are draws.
Rest are draws for me.
Okay, I'll just go quickly. Rangers, St Johnstone, Ross County draw, Livingston to win, Hibs and Aberdeen draw.
Okay, well, we'll find out, won't we? It really is a big chance that for Ryan Kent, early on. You can try and make excuses about it being early in the game and all that sort of stuff, Gordon, but it's the type of thing that more and more Rangers fans are getting frustrated with about Ryan Kent, because he's obviously a talented footballer, but is he productive enough? That's what they phone in and they say that to us. Does he score enough goals? Does he get enough assists? Does he do damage in the right areas often enough?
Right now, no. I think his performances this season are being below par. Has he got ability? Yes, he has. Rangers fans expect a lot more of him, and that's a compliment to players, Gordon. It's not the fact that they're expecting so much of him because they think he's one of these players that can't deliver. It's because they know he can. On the big stage, he's proved it. He's a very talented player. Right now, Ryan Kent, for me, is very lucky, and there's been changes in this Rangers team in the last 3 or 4 games. He's very lucky he's still keeping his place.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The whole argument that Ryan Kent's numbers aren't up to scratch, and I've heard people make the argument, well, it's not about his numbers, it's about him dragging a couple of defenders out of place to create space for others. But when he stops doing that as well, then the numbers does become an issue. When you're playing at the top end of the pitch for Rangers or Celtic, you will get chances. The fans expect you to return goals and assists, and Ryan Kent has just went off the boil just now, and I agree with Daz. I think he's lucky he's not got someone pushing him.
Well, I was going to say, let's not write Ryan Kent's game off today after 2 minutes, but Hugh, that the point Mark hits on there would be the most important one for the Rangers fans. It's not so much about the form of Ryan Kent in isolation, but why is there no one else who's able to push him? Why is there no one else who, if he does dip as footballers do, can come in? I'm sorry, but it's Glasgow, it's the way the comparison works. Who is the Haksabanovic to his Jota or whatever?
Well, no one, because all the signings that have been made of late by Ross Wilson in conjunction with Giovanni Van Bronckhorst have flopped, and Rangers are waiting for them to find enough for Van Bronckhorst to put them in the team. It's been a chaotic start for Rangers. Tavernier taking off at half time in a game. Who would ever have thought it? The goalkeeping situation, the manager stood by John McLaughlin until he reached a point where he couldn't possibly stand by the goalkeeper. And as I repeat, I'm not sure you'll ever see him in a Rangers jersey again. So all over, from front to back, there have been players who have started the season in a way which you could not have foreseen.
I'll tell you one. For me, Sakala must be sitting there thinking, right, okay, where's my chances here? Because I think everybody agrees, I think every Rangers fan would agree, Ryan Kent has not been at it this season so far, but Sakala's sitting there thinking, right, maybe it's time for it to give me a shot down that left hand side. He's got bags of pace. I'm not a massive fan of him. Matondo, for instance, come in as well. Not seen a lot of him. So I think there's
what's going to happen.
Well, I was going to say
what's going to happen.
Kent's
he might score a hat-trick, absolutely.
Yeah.
But on top of that, you look at, there is an interesting one. There was a Tavernier corner cleared by Ross Graham at the front post there. Rabbi Matondo came on for Rangers during the week in a Champions League game. He's not anywhere in the squad today. I don't know exactly what the explanation is for that. Hold that thought, because we do have our first goal of the day.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
It's at Easter Road, and it's for the visitors. Hibs 0, Aberdeen 1. Coulson's cross headed in by your man,
the Duke.
The Duke. 4 minutes on the clock. What's his? Luis Lopez.
Lope. You called him
Lope.
I knew that.
Better known
Duke
as Duke, and he's opened the scoring for Aberdeen.
Well,
good start, yeah.
I did say I fancied Aberdeen to win away from home. I think that Hibs are completely unconvincing, and have been since the season started, and rumblings will start pretty soon at Easter Road.
Yeah, just quickly to knock that point on the head before we move on. So Rabbi Matondo on in the Champions League, nowhere to be seen today at all. If it is an injury, fine, but we don't hear that much from Giovanni Van Bronckhorst towards the end of the week sometimes. What else? Hold on, I think we've got another update here just to bring you. No, Arfield now over the bar, sorry, good chance, 8 yards. Kent on the cutback, he's creating them this time.
Yeah, he's having a great game.
Over the bar, just couldn't keep it down. Glenn Kamara also nowhere to be seen in the Rangers squad today. This after coming on again during the week.
No, I'm not surprised at that. If you watch one of the goals, I don't know, is it the
but that's my point then, if it's form related, if you come on in the Champions League and then don't even make the squad at home to Dundee United, that's a big statement.
You're not surprised that Kamara just been bombed through the squad?
Yeah, I think Kamara has.
That's surprising.
Hold on. See if you just take a breath and let me finish. I think that on his form, I'm a massive Kamara fan, I have said that in here. His form this year has been terrible as well. He come on the other night there, he gives away a slack ball, it kills.
Yeah, but I think you're arguing different things. It's still a big statement to go from getting game time in the Champions League to not being in the squad at all.
I think sometimes as a manager,
you put them on the bench, usually that's the first step.
Well, I think sometimes as a manager, with the way Van Bronckhorst is now, I think his patience is running thin. And I think what sometimes you decide to do is say, do you know what, Matondo, you're not doing enough to even be on the bench. Kamara's been poor, not even doing enough to be on the bench. So he's decided to go with it.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
Rangers 1, Dundee United 0. It did not take long, 9 minutes on the clock, and it's Antonio Cholak, a birthday goal for him, and exactly, Hugh Keevins, what the Rangers fans needed, exactly the start to the game they needed.
I heard laughter in the studio when I said Rangers to win by 4 or 5 goals. This is the start of the 4 or 5 goals. And you're right, it's exactly what the fans wanted. It quietens everyone down, it takes anxiety away. Dundee United have clearly been punished since the start of the game, and I believe that they are hopelessly flawed, Dundee United, and they're at the start of a pasting.
And there lies the challenge of going to Ibrox and facing a team like Rangers, Mark. Dundee United eventually get up the pitch. The first time takes them 8 minutes. They get up the pitch, they get a corner, but when it's cleared, Rangers just race up the other end and pick them off and score.
Well, that's the story of the season for Dundee United. I mean, just so open, poor defensively. You only need to look at the goals against tally to see what they're putting it this season. And I mean, Liam Fox can set up all the tactics you want and do all the work you want in the week, but if your defenders are wide open, your midfielders are stretched, teams like Rangers will take 4 or 5, like Hughes says, off you. So great start for Rangers. What Van Bronckhorst would have wanted will settle the nerves, because right in the first few seconds, Barisic wants to control a ball, goes under the foot, that will settle everybody.
Let's get this up and running.
The first half teaser.
With the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
I missed this last week when I was standing at the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
So did everybody else. We weren't here.
Thank you very much. Name the last 8 players to score for Rangers in a Champions League match from the group stages onwards. Who were the last 8 players to score for Rangers in a Champions League match from the group stages onwards?
Get your thinking caps on, get your answers tweeted into @ClydeSSB, and try and do it quicker than everyone else. That's the challenge for you this afternoon. So send them over, please, @ClydeSSB. One tweet, all the answers, and faster than everyone else. The confusion, the absolute confusion on the faces of Gordon Dalziel and Mark Wilson. I know they always look a bit like that, but in particular,
Two right off.
@ClydeSSB. Let's see what you can
It's
come
all,
up with.
it's all about him, innit?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
I've told you all along.
Yeah.
A single leaf working alone provides no shade. But you're right in there, aren't you?
What?
You're always on your own.
What? You need to repeat that one for me.
Well, hold on. I was going
You like
to
that?
I was going to pull you up on this, because we've had a massive Champions League week, and you somehow decided to abandon it. We didn't hear any motivational quotes from you during the week, I don't think.
I had a couple, but they weren't the right time, Gordon. You've got to.
And so what was that one again?
A single leaf working alone provides no shade.
That's the biggest load of piffle I have
Do you
ever
know
heard.
what, Adam? I've
like
heard
that.
worse. I think that's not
Thank you,
one of
Gordon.
your worst ones.
Thank you.
It does provide shade.
No, you need the teamwork of the other leaves. That's his point.
Provide the big.
So
The
let's get an insect.
if you're a fly.
just move on.
Exactly, so it's nonsense.
Move on.
That's one of your worst ones.
One more time, just for anyone who's just trying to stop laughing.
A single leaf working alone provides no shade.
Producer Callum, we're going to need to collect all of these.
Single leaf working a like a leaf works.
I mean, we've got a lot of.
He's made a workable object.
I've now just thrown this on you, but I really wish we had collected the videos of them all as he's gone through the season.
There's a lot of people who take heart from that out here. They'll sit
You
back.
could be Clyde One Super Scoreboard's answer to Michael Sheen. Tell me you saw that last week.
Magnificent.
You
Loved
see
it.
it?
I've
I
not
loved
seen
it.
that,
You
but
seen
I've
it,
heard
Hugh?
so much about
Michael
it.
Sheen, the actor, he appears on a game show, a League of Their Own on Sky.
Yep.
And he's obviously a passionate Welshman, and he's asked, what would you say to the Welsh team ahead of the World Cup? And they put this music on and they put these red lights. Look, is it off the cuff? Probably not. Has he rehearsed it during the week? Probably. But it is magnificent.
He's a magnificent actor.
Ever felt like you wanted to be Welsh? Me neither. But having watched
Well,
that,
I lived in Wales. I know the passion that surrounds
you played
that
for
area.
Bristol and
The
lived just
passion.
over the border. That
I
doesn't
was
count.
still
You're trying
Wales,
to
so
tell me
I'm,
what?
I'm part Welsh.
How good was it though?
It was magnificent. It was well rehearsed, but he delivered it down to a T.
Certainly.
Yeah,
Better
they-
than whatever that was you just came out with.
I've not. Well, I can't comment. I've not seen Michael Sheen's.
Never seen him as Brian Clough.
Oh, how good is he at that as well?
Oh, staggering.
I've not seen that film yet. I've got
No.
it
Damned
taped.
United?
Got it taped in the house.
Oh, right.
Taped.
Oh, they've recorded it.
What is this?
I gave him my,
Recorded.
That was
I
a Hugh
gave him my
Keevins, isn't it?
Betamax.
Yeah, I've got it recorded. I'm
Oh,
going to
must.
watch.
By the way, a couple of goals. Dundee 1, Inverness 0. Ryan Sweeney, Morton 0, Arbroath 1, Dale Hilson. I have to admit, Hugh, your battles with technology never fail to amaze me. But I've been keeping the listeners well informed. You had me well amused during your holiday when I started getting mysterious picture messages from a woman called Nicola.
Yes.
I don't know any women called Nicola. She decided to start sending me picture messages. I was worried about what was going on until I found out that she was your tour guide
Yes.
in Italy, and you were getting her to send me pictures of you in Rome with red wine in hand at the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and so on and
Yep.
so forth. Did you have a good time?
That wasn't the best of it. The best of it was last Tuesday, as I sped along the waters of the Grand Canal in Venice, speedboat to a restaurant that could only be accessed by water. The gangplank was put down, went in for dinner, came back out, walked down the gangplank very carefully after dinner, let me tell you.
Where is this going?
Steamboats.
We get into the boat, ready to speed along the Grand Canal back home to the Isle of Murano.
This guy's got class.
And Nicola, the tour guide, said to me, you and your wife are the only Scottish people on this tour. Sing us a song. So
What does that mean, though? Where's the link?
Sing us a song.
on the Grand Canal in Venice, I sang Jose Feliciano's My Foolish Heart. My wife said to me after,
This one? I just can't imagine you.
that's the one. There's a line between love and fascination that's hard to tell on an evening such as this.
You sang this to a boat full of people on holiday.
I did. And my wife said to me she had never felt more proud of me.
Oh, lovely. How romantic is that?
How much drink must they have had to listen?
Listen, please keep it. Please drink responsibly.
Out of all the songs in the world you could have sung,
That's fantastic.
why did you pick that?
Did you ever do that on a pedalo in the Strathclyde
No, but I'll
Park for
tell
any
you
of
what,
your
I'm very
acquaintances?
impressed with that.
When I courted my wife, I courted her by singing to her.
A foolish heart.
That and Love Letter Straight from Your Heart.
It reminds me of the Christmas #1 scenario a couple of years ago, right? And those worlds collided last night because my sister-in-law was over and doesn't really care much about football. Certainly doesn't care about us or listen to our madness. And she said, "What's the guy you work with again? Hugh Stevens." I just thought it was great. Just such a subtle mistake. Hugh Stevens. I think that could catch
Well, I
on.
have to tell you,
Why
such
did the
was-
lady want you to sing?
I know.
That was quite a weird
because
request.
they found the idea of Scottish people being quite quirky and eccentric.
Oh, great.
You know, so here
Is
we
that
are.
what we're exporting to people?
Do you know something? I love that song. That's
Yeah.
that's touched me.
Oh, you
Yeah.
two have got the same music
It's got
taste.
me right there. I used to sing
Never
my
heard that
lives.
before.
When will I see you
See,
again?
I was singing to I was singing to mine in order to keep her. You were singing to several.
You two have got the same music taste.
Do you know something? I'm going to put that in my phone. I like that. I like
See,
that song.
That's it, because you act like you and Wilson are pals and thick as thieves.
no,
on
no.
You're more of Hugh's generation.
That's impressed me. Let me tell you, that's impressed me. Well done, Jay.
I wish where was Nicola's phone when this was all taking place? I didn't get a video of that, Nicola.
Sounds magnificent. Hugh.
Listen,
Apart
you've
from the
got
singing part, sounds great.
lots of new listeners because they all took a note of Radio Clyde 102.5 and they're all listening this afternoon.
Good. He told us there was 22 people on the trip, which is great, right? Well, we'll take them all. The more, the merrier. I don't know if the 22 will nudge the dial, but why not? We're always happy to grow the audience.
It's a pebble in the water. The
Beautiful.
fans
The
come
ripple
out.
effect.
Yeah.
I like that. Anyway, at Rangers 1, Dundee United 0. Antonio Cholak with the goal, and it's just one-way traffic. Gordon, you would expect more of the same.
Yeah, especially after the early goal, Gordon. That's what the Rangers needed to settle everything down. Obviously, the Rangers fans going along, they're demanding a big performance this afternoon. And Cholak's delivered with an early goal, puts Dundee United a little bit in the back foot, because the one thing they don't want to do, especially with Liam Fox in the dugout, he's trying to get that job as the right man. I don't know, he's settled the ship a little bit, but if he takes another hammering this afternoon, then I would see that going in the distance.
The problem for Dundee United at the moment, they're just a punch bag. They're there for everybody to have a go at, and this is a long afternoon for them.
Yeah, I mean, they had a corner, which is about as good as things get, unfortunately, in games like this if you're Dundee United. But Rangers comfortable at the moment. Remember, Aberdeen are 1 up at Hibs, and the other two games, Livy Kilmarnock and St Johnstone Ross County, are goalless. There was a goal in the Gordon DL
So who scored?
derby, and I must admit, for some reason I've forgotten. I'll get it back to you in a second. Steny 0, Elgin 1, Kane Hester on 16 minutes. So there are goals going in down the leagues at the moment. We're hoping for a few more in the Premiership. Your teaser is up and running. It's at Clyde SSB. If you want to give that one a go, please do. Partick Thistle have just taken the lead. Jags fans, you'll be happy with that. Stephen Lawless back in your colours and scoring goals. 17 minutes gone. Partick Thistle 1, Cove Rangers 0. Wraith are 1 up.
Fancy
Against
them.
Ayr United. It was always going to go wrong for Ayr United when the chairman was pictured next to Roger Hanna in the newspaper this morning. So,
Or when the manager gets manager of the month,
Ah,
it's usually
the
the
curse,
curse.
I used to refuse them. You'd never had them, right? But honestly, they're the worst curse in the world. I had a few of them, my day.
Ange
I picked up
Postecoglou.
one my first 4 weeks into management.
Did you actually?
Who was?
First month. Airdrie.
Well, I picked a team for 4 weeks.
Ange Postecoglou wins it every month, though, and it doesn't seem to hold him back.
Yeah, well,
Well, if you score 25 goals in 6 games, chances are you'll get the manager of the month award.
Absolutely. Don't forget, it's the first round of the Scottish Cup today as well. Always like looking at some of those games, some crackers. In fact, it started last night, didn't it? 6-0 for Pollock against Huntly. They've gone through. Auchinleck Talbot beat Syngenta. They've gone through. 1,500 at Broadwood to see Open Goal beat Brora
3-2
after extra time.
Yeah.
So those three already in the hat tomorrow. McGregor save from Betch. Good opening. Low shot for Dundee United. There we go. A bit of hope, a glimmer.
well, that's what they need. They need something to give them a wee bit of hope, because it's not been a good start from them so far. Dundee United's a
Yeah,
strange
and by
one.
the way, the corner then falls to Ian Harkes, but he puts it miles wide.
I mean, good squad, good in paper, just lacking in direction.
The AZ Alkmaar was a killer for them. You know, they were the feel-good story in Scotland for 24 hours after beating AZ at Tannadice. But what happened when they lost 7-0 in the away leg has absolutely chewed them up and spat them out.
Yeah, Hugh, thinking of that first round of the Scottish Cup, the Bankies are at home.
Yes,
against Spartans.
Yes,
you
my
got family
grandson,
members going
yeah,
along.
My grandson Michael is there with his mum and dad. He's loving the Bankies.
That's a big one, eh? Spartans, well-run organisation through there.
Best day of my season was Fraser Wishart and I last season at the Bankies against Clyde in the Scottish Cup. Big crowd, like old times back in the.
What are you talking about? You were frozen.
You
had
nearly
to
get
back in.
hypothermia away to come and rescue you.
Fraser, did you sit yourself?
But that's when the Bankies took pity on me and took me up to the club room.
He was loving it.
Did you hear that dig though? He spent every Saturday of the season with you two, bar one, which was his best Saturday of the season.
Yeah.
Quite a bit to look out for there. I won't run through them all. Obviously, Darvel are already well in front against Tynecastle. I think it's 4. I don't know who else we should look out for. I get messages for you constantly requesting your company.
I'm in.
At the Caledonian Braves. They obviously
you not
play.
been yet?
They
No,
play at
it's-
Strathclyde Park. They're at home today against Newton Stewart in the Cup. Of the Bankies are there. Cumbernauld Colts, Mark. That's one for you. You
Yeah,
could have
just
been
down
down
the
there.
road. Yeah.
Dalbeattie Star. They're playing. There's some great fixtures to look out for. So I'll give you a bit of as many updates as we can. It's obviously difficult to keep up. There's so many.
Cumbernauld Colts still playing out at Broadwood as well. Not sure.
Yes,
Yes.
I think so.
And that's why probably last night's
Open
game
goal.
had to be
Exactly,
Friday,
a
night.
Friday night.
And the disco lights, apparently, I was reading today, were on there. So, great occasion.
Absolutely. So try and keep you up to speed on anything that happens in the Scottish Cup. It's tough to stay across all those fixtures. Hugh, a reminder of your teaser, please, if you could.
Yeah, name the last 8 players to score for Rangers in a Champions League match from the group stages onwards.
Okay, let's see what you've got for that. We'll try and do some wrong answers to help you along the line if you need it. Do you know what though? The standard in the last few weeks has been incredible. All I've seen is numerous correct answers coming in, but you need to get all 8, which is never easy. I can see Derek Morrison's given that a right good go. So has Michael Smith. Greg's Gardens wants to mention Peter Lovenkrantz. Hugh, is he on your list?
Peter Lovenkrands, no, he's not
Is
there.
Dado Perso on your list?
No,
Is Michael Moles on your list?
nope.
And
Surprisingly, but no.
Iñaki says, is it Andy Halliday? Is he on your list?
Andy Halliday
No way. The
in a Champions League.
Speaking of him, you seen this sticker that's doing the rounds?
Yeah.
It's appeared now. Honestly,
You won't be surprised to know that I've looked at it and I've no idea what it means.
this has grown arms and legs. So I started getting the first of about 150 messages about this yesterday afternoon. I don't even know where it is, but a sticker has appeared. It's got 2 pictures of Andy's face and the words "Hey ho, here she goes, either a little too high or a little too low, got no self-esteem and vertigo because she thinks she's made of Andy." Now the words to that, if you put the C and call it Candy, that's the Robbie Williams song. You recognise that one, Gordon Dalziel? Is
Yeah,
that
I do.
not one of yours?
No, it's not one.
Hey, oh, here she go, either a little too high or a little too low. Got no self-esteem and vertigo, 'cause she thinks she's made of candy.
Andy. See what they've done there?
Yeah.
Andy.
But who's
rather
singing?
than
Is that the
Candy.
Hearts fans that sing
It
that?
must be. And then it sort of snowballed, and then late last night someone sent me a message as well. I'll try and give the appropriate mention to whoever it was, saying, listen, just send me the address. I'll send in some stickers for you if you want. I don't know what we're going to do with some Andy Halliday stickers, but we'll take them.
But what are the Hearts fans doing with stickers? Andy Halliday
Well,
stickers.
he plays for them.
I know,
Yeah.
but
You don't think it's like a
the
fan's favourite?
stickers of this song.
No, that's the sticker. It's
Aye,
got the
so
lyrics
that's what
on
I mean.
it.
Where do
What
they
are they doing
stick
with
it?
that? It's not like a Panini sticker that
They
it's his
stick
face.
them places. That's
Where
how a
do
sticker
they-
works.
where do they
But
stick
where,
them?
Dan?
Anywhere.
Where?
Lampposts and
Why?
Name one
road
place.
signs.
No,
and
you're
whatever
just
else.
making that up now. They don't stick them in
Hold on,
lampposts.
right. We've plunged to some serious depths on this show. Are you actually asking me what people are doing with stickers?
I
The
just-
clue could not be more in your face.
I would
in
like
the
to know where
title.
they're sticking them.
Aye,
Anywhere.
I'm with you, Daz.
That's
It's
the
a
beauty of
strange
it.
one. Why have they went for?
The picture on social media is
Yeah,
it's on
for
a
that
wall
song.
somewhere. It's on some sort of building wall. It's a sticker. You put it wherever you like. Oh, anyway, I'm this wasted on you two. Just Hugh, if you could brush that up, because you've got a new career as a singer.
Yeah.
So in the second
Gonna
half,
give it a
I'll
go.
get you to sing that
Oh,
with the
really?
words Andy. So if you just want to
Oh,
rehearse,
sing this song in the shit.
if you want to rehearse, we'll do that. We've got one of these.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
Livingston 1, Kilmarnock 0, and it's the man who's been in really good form. It's Christian Montano. He's been in good form, like we said. Marvin Bartley and David Martindale happy with his work, and he scored again. Livy 1, Kilmarnock 0. Stephen Kelly, recent signing from Rangers, his corner. Montano with the goal, just as he did against Andy Halliday's Hearts not so long ago.
Kilmarnock on the other side, giving cause for concern in the early part of the season, second bottom, 2 points above Dundee United, just not happening for them
Yeah.
at all.
Well,
And Kyle
well-
Lafferty was supposed to do big things and isn't.
If you go back to my prediction start of season, I said it'd be a difficult season for Kilmarnock. New players. I heard Fraser's talking about something like 13 coming in. Yes, it does take time. Lafferty, I thought, was going to be a big player for him this
Yeah.
year. But they've got an experienced manager and coaching staff down there. But I think it still will be a long, difficult season.
I've
for
got bad
Kilmarnock.
news for David Patterson, who tweeted me earlier.
Who's that?
He's got a picture. He's got a nice bottle of Casablanca, whatever that may be. He's got the shorts on wherever he looks.
Beautiful.
Oh, magnificent. Marrakesh, he says. Greetings from Marrakesh. Listening today. Let's do this, Stranraer. 3 points, please. 25 minutes gone. Stirling Albion 2. Stranraer 0. Jack Leach, who, of course,
Leachy.
I've got a wee family connection there. My brother-in-law,
Terrible golfer.
as of the summer,
Terrible goal.
has added
Terrible.
a second for Stirling Albion. I had him round last week for lunch. New house, obviously. Bit of lunch and just a little pep talk. Tell him, like Gordon Duncan, get yourself in the right areas, and he's listening.
Yeah.
He's taking it on board.
I'm glad you gave him lunch. I just get in and out.
Oh, I wasn't letting you hang
No.
around. Are you joking?
Oh, what's that? If I missed a housewarming
Yeah.
party?
No,
Yeah,
no. You will remember the stories this week. He disgraced himself. We went to the fancy golf
So that
course in
right,
Ayrshire.
okay. And he popped in.
Well, no, we car shared. Obviously, we're still looking after the environment, even though we no longer live in the same town. So that was it. He
very nice.
got a 10-second tour when we came back, and that was it.
You didn't offer him a coffee like last time, did you?
No, absolutely not.
Get nothing, not even a biscuit.
He was,
Oh, you
he
slaughtered
was-
his coffee
he
machine
was
the last
sent
time.
on his way.
James, I wasn't happy
He
with that.
was absolutely sent on his way. Let me
Get a
tell
big
you.
fancy house, but no biscuits. I've seen it all before.
Speaking, can you believe he's got the you-know-whats to call Andy a bad golfer after this week?
Unbelievable. Who, him? Mm-hmm. Oh, he's horrific. See, and by the way, see,
What have they got me for?
you're terrible. See the poor boys that paid money to play with that guy. I totally understand how they feel. Just looking
I
for
wasn't
ball
even,
after
I wasn't
ball
even
after
there.
ball.
You two played golf yesterday. I
Yeah.
was at Rhythm Time with my daughter. We were singing Baba Black
Yeah, we
Sheep and all
heard you.
sorts. And he phones me, just amazed at how bad you were. He was calling you everything
You
yesterday.
know what? He's sneaky because I put one in the rough miles away and I'm away taking my shot. I think, who's he on the phone to? He said, 30 yards down the
He was
fairway.
calling you all sorts.
And then
Terrible.
just at that point, I diagonally put my shot into the other rough. I had a bad day, but what did make it better was that this guy next to me had the opposite. His best round ever, going for level par on the 16th hole. He has a cracking drive. I'm saying, you're going to bottle this. You're going to blow this.
Nice,
No.
Nice support from your friend.
Cracking drive down the 16th. He's swaggering up to it.
So he's still level par. Going
He's
up
still
the 16th
level par,
fairway, okay.
and you see him getting a bit nervy. He says this second shot is crucial, right? Because this is the hardest hole. The other two take care of itself. He hits his set, a screamer, 3-wood up the left hand side of the fairway. There you go. So we're walking up, and 3 deer appear across the golf course. Beautiful setting. I'm going, oh wow, look at that. And I catch it on video with him walking up to it. Little did we know, when we got up there, his ball's missing.
Deer.
His ball's
The
missing.
deer. The deer. The 3 deer
We
come
could
across,
not
right?
find it.
No way.
Anywhere.
Nah, I'm not having that.
This is
I
true.
refuse to believe
the deer
that.
come across, right? The big one was at the front, and just as he's walking across, the heavens
you know it was a he?
The heavens opened. I thought, that's a reindeer, right? So they 3 come
Oh dear.
across.
Oh dear.
The other one had a coffee. He'd been at Starbucks, but I walked up, no ball. I found out this morning from a fellow member that there was a deer spotted with a yellow. Apparently, they pick up the balls.
No chance. So you get done out of your first ever level par round because
Yeah.
a deer ate
Yeah.
your golf ball. You
And the
expect
wee-
us to believe that?
The wee with third one, he'd no eyes. I went, where's my golf ball? He went, no idea.
And don't don't think we didn't notice the Starbucks pun. Who gave you those
No,
deer
they were
puns?
good, weren't they?
Who gave you the deer
It
puns?
just come out. I don't know.
I thought when I said Venice was water under the bridge that had set the bar. But
It's been
how
warned.
wrong can you get?
But that is true.
Anyway,
the deers
he
are-
could have salvaged his round, but his head went, and he didn't even drop a ball. He was that much of a grump.
gone,
He was
head
telling me,
loss.
he was telling me to hurry up and play my shot. Hurry up, doesn't matter. Let's go, move on. And that was the end. It round over. I could not have been happier.
Your man in Marrakesh might be happy. Stranraer back in it. Darryl Duffy on 31 minutes. Oh, it's a bit of a rivalry, that one, isn't it? Dunfermline Falkirk.
Yeah.
Callum Morrison has put the Bairns 1 up at East End Park.
Ooh, there'll be a big crowd there for that, you'd
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
They're starting to play a bit better now, Falkirk.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
From the corner.
I
a wee
am
bit bad
sure.
start to the
I'm
season.
sure. In my early days of reporting on this very show, I went to one of those fixtures and there was
Nobody there.
11,000 there.
Yeah.
I don't feel
Yeah,
like
there would
in
be.
I
Falkirk.
think so.
Yeah.
Stephen Mill will have hurled his pie onto the pitch by this time.
One of the bosses in here, of course, is a Falkirk fan as well. So
Oh.
get that little bit of
Name names.
needle.
You can tell me during the break.
Anyway, that's the last goal to come in. Ryan Jacks had a shot held by Ericsson, 20 yards after a move on the left. So, I mean, look, Rangers are in top and they're in front and they deserve to be in front, Hugh.
Yeah.
It could have been worse for Dundee United. I don't know what they'll take.
Well, here
Having
we've got-
hold on, in fact, I'm going to take that straight back because the Celtic game was still 1-0 at this point, wasn't it? Was it? The 9?
Yeah.
I think it was. So
Was
things
it
can
not
change
only-
quickly.
Was it 2-0 at half time in the Celtic game?
Just before half time,
Yeah,
I
just
think, was it?
before half time.
Here
So
you get an example of two things. Dundee United, the punch bag, who cannot lay a glove on Rangers, and Rangers who, after 3 heavy defeats in a row, are unsure of themselves, and the way it is manifesting itself is that they've got all the pressure, all the chances, but they're unconvincing in front of goal.
you wonder if it remains like this. I know we're only half hour in. If it remains at this and it's 1-0, the game finishes 1-0, if that's enough to appease the Rangers fans,
No,
if they
no,
think
it's
things
not.
are back in track.
No,
Yeah,
it's
but
not.
it also means that you're not in crisis and you're not in a rut and it's stopped. You're right. I don't think anyone's going to go home and think, well, that's it. It's all in the past. But it's the bare minimum, I suppose, is what you would expect.
and that's the way the fans will treat it. Well, I suppose it's a win and it reduces the deficit between Rangers and Celtic to 2 points. Celtic having to play tomorrow, but if it was 1-0, it's not going to send everyone home singing and dancing down Edmiston Drive.
I can't disagree with that, Hugh, but I'll be surprised
Still time. Only half an
yeah,
hour
I'll be
gone.
surprised
Just
if it
over.
finishes 1-0.
Recap the teaser then. We'll give it this maybe still time. Still a bit of time. I was going to give a last warning, but on you go, Hugh.
Name the last 8 players to score for Rangers in a Champions League match from the group stages onwards.
Okay, let's try and do more incorrect answers just to help you along, because some of you have got 4 or 5, 6, 7 even, and maybe just needing 1 or 2 pointers in the right direction. So please do keep your answers coming in. Nizzy wants to throw Jean-Claude Darcheville in.
Throw him back out.
He'd also like to give Pedro Mendes a go.
Nope.
FM Dafty thinks it might be Kyle Lafferty.
Not there.
Okay, keep your guesses coming at Clyde SSB, and it is a race. So try and beat everyone else to it at Clyde SSB. How are you two faring, by the way?
we're doing okay.
Yeah, I think we've got 7.
Yeah, let me see.
I think.
No,
I'll decide.
we're not got 7.
Why? The 7 written down there.
Okay, yeah, 1, 2,
Maybe 5.
3. Yeah, you've got a couple.
2?
A couple?
I
We've
think
only
there's
got
2
2
wrong. No, there's 2 wrong out of that, I think, or 1 or 2 wrong.
Right, okay.
Annan 0, East 5-2. Scott Hooper own goal on 32 minutes. East 5. The Bankies are in front. Hugh, you'll be pleased to know the man for the big occasion, Nicky Little.
Yeah, over 100 goals for the Paper
Yeah,
Hankies.
well, he's added another one. We've got. I've taken it away from him. Alan Hudson had sent me, and Alan always likes to keep us up to date on what's happening with the Bankies. But Bankies TV says it was Slattery and not Nicky Little. They can argue out amongst themselves.
Listen, Slattery will get you everywhere.
Oh, I was speaking to
It's gonna
Gordon
be a
Moffat
long
actually
day,
last week. He was just walking
Your
along
neighbour,
the
isn't
street.
it?
Yeah, and he was frustrated at the whole situation last week because it was correct me if I'm wrong, maybe Pollock they were supposed to play last week. It was an old ticket affair, and that brings about its own challenges, I think, at that level. So a shame that they had to lose it in that one. But then again, fixture congestion. We talk about the top teams with fixture congestion. He was saying no idea when they're going to fit these games in going forward, but he was confident about this week.
So
Huddy's
who's
ahead.
the draw tomorrow? What stage are we at then?
Well, this is the first round today, so second round draw is tomorrow, which is still sort of lower league.
You would have played at this level.
It would be the first
rounds
it
of the Scottish.
It will be the first.
That's your kind of.
The first introduction
level,
for the SPFL teams, though, if you like. At the
Yeah.
moment, it's your Highland League, it's your Lowland League, West of Scotland League, and
Yeah.
so on. This is where the so-called professional teams enter,
Right.
but not the top flight.
Roger Hanna has absolutely killed Ayr United for the day. They're now
They can
two
beat-
down to Wraith Rovers.
Fancy drift.
The chairman sat beside Roger Hanna, and that was the end of the club.
All of a sudden it'll be bring back Dale.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wraith Rovers 2, Ayr United 0, Sam Stanton, as the guys mentioned. Airdrie 1, Clyde 0, Lewis Jameson, and Stirling Albion restore their 2-goal advantage. Kai Fotheringham on 36 minutes against Stranraer. Your man in Marrakesh has gone back to the bar. He's not interested. He's switched
They're
off.
gone, have they? They're gone.
He is absolutely
Marrakesh would be
switched
nice,
off.
yeah. Never been there. That'd be a nice
Surprised.
part of the
You've
world.
been everywhere else.
Marrakesh.
Everyone
yeah.
ended at holidays like this guy.
I know.
You know, I was maybe having another one
Oh, were you? Aye,
next
great.
week, but no, I decided against
Oh,
it.
thanks. It was nice of you to actually
Absolutely.
hang around for
The other
a
half,
weekend.
she's going to Ibiza.
I mean, what are we, 6 games into the season? You took a week off for Lady Gaga, another week off for Medieval Night in Tenerife.
It's been a grueling start.
A third.
to the
You've missed a
season.
third of the season.
A
so
grueling
far.
start.
See, I've seen a wee gap there. The other half's going to Ibiza. Me and you're out.
We can.
Can you imagine?
You're out. You're out in the town.
Oh,
Made
look
it bingo.
forward to that.
James
I
Tavernier
mind go to the bingo.
Tavernier
Quite
booked
trending
for a
nowadays.
pull on Dylan Levitt. We think nice bit of skill on the halfway line. That would be the old stopping a promising attack, you would imagine, in the eyes of the referee, certainly.
Yeah, the other night, remember Morelos? Maybe got away with one. So the criticism that was aimed at the referee the other night. Morelos on a yellow card, pulled back.
Yeah, the thing about shirt pulling is it's generally about sort of where it is and what it does. And I'm not disagreeing with you. If anything saved him, it probably was
The area of the pitch
where it
in.
was, because you would, it might, the referee maybe didn't feel it was stopping a promising attack. I think it was quite deep. But you're right, often when you see someone get away from someone else and the shirt
And
gets
the
pulled,
shirt
it
gets
often
pulled, yeah.
leads in a booking. But maybe it was something to do with that. Anyway, Hugh, I mean, you missed it all, of course, but we did wonder about the referee for the Rangers game, who is described on his own Wikipedia page as quirky. We looked it up when we were on and we just thought, just don't know if that's a word you should ever use to describe a referee. It doesn't sound like a redeeming quality.
Well, I've watched all the penalties back again, and I see nothing controversial. They were all penalties.
Yep, seemed to get them all. people can obviously disagree. That's what the beauty of it, Gordon. But he gave Rangers one that was never a penalty, so VAR took it away. And there was, there's maybe the debate around the way the rule is and whether people like it or not about encroachment. But yeah, over the piece, he seemed to get most of the big ones right, didn't he?
Yeah, but he comes under the banner of the top referee. Obviously, he's refereed big
Champions
matches,
League final.
Champions League final. Do you say, Gordon? Yeah, I agree with you. I thought the big decisions he got them right. To be honest with
I
you,
think Rangers lost their discipline as well. And they're having a torrid time of it in that regard. As I say, Tavernier having gone off at half time against Ajax, and Sands has had a torrid time, but he had to go, and Rangers had 6 bookings and 1 red card, so that's indiscipline.
I think, to be fair, Tavernier was struggling injury-wise against Ajax. But you missed Mark Wilson's finest moment the other night when the referee put on his quirky performance. In his Spanish, he was being described as El Willy.
Right, that takes us nicely to the break, as they used to say on television.
Morton 0, Arbroath 2. Michael McKenna, what a season he had last year. In fact, did he end up getting Championship Player of the Year? Fraser Wishart will know. I think he did. Yeah, I think he did.
Yes, he did.
Morton 0, Arbroath 2. Michael McKenna with the penalty.
Well, they could do with a result, Arbroath, because so well documented. Every time a poor result comes up for them, people always say, oh, the wheels have come off, that's it, reverting back to usual. But I'm sure Dick doesn't think that way. I'm sure he has every confidence in them.
Well, they could get
back up
off the bottom of the table if they win and Partick Thistle beat Cove Rangers. Then it's Cove who go bottom and Dick Campbell goes second bottom.
Yeah, and Partick are 1 up. But by the way, Dundee are getting in areas, and they have had a couple of, like I say, entries into that final third, and there have been 1 or 2 sort of half chances or shots. So it's absolutely not the complete doing that it might have been. That's the compliment we can pay them, Gordon.
Yeah, I think that when Rangers got the early goal, I thought the floodgates would
producer
open.
Callum's not happy. He feels I accididally dropped the United.
You
Did I call him Dundee?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
inexcusable.
He'll be calling them the Blues
That's
next.
the look on his face.
Yeah, the Tangerines will be delighted if they get in one. They've obviously lost an early goal. The floodgates could have opened. It's not happened. Yeah, Rangers I think have most of the possession, but well, it's still 1-0. Liam Fox at half time will be a positive team talk.
Just laughing at you calling them the Tangerines. I know that's
That's
one
a
of their
nickname.
nicknames, I know, but
Why?
I just hate it for some reason. The Tangerines.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't
think
like
that
it.
requires much more analysis, that discussion, if you don't mind. It's a bit pointless, no offence. But there we go. We're still waiting on a goal between St Johnstone and Ross County. We've got one everywhere else. Hibs 0, Aberdeen 1. That was the first goal of the day, and Aberdeen took that early lead through Duke. Livingston 1, Kilmarnock 0, Christian Montagno. Rangers 1, Dundee United 0. Of course was the early goal as well through Antonio Cholak. Stirling Albion running away with it. Your Marrakesh man, sorry, 4-1 now. Dale Carrick adding another.
Put another log on the fire, as a pal of mine used to say.
Glenn Middleton booked for a late one on Leon King. Alan McGregor very angry and gets a lecture from Kevin Clancy. He's back.
Kevin Clancy.
Oh no, Alan McGregor. We've not seen him a lot this season. He has been known to get angry at times.
Yeah, but he's back and back to stay, because John McLaughlin's not coming back to replace him after his start to the season.
What makes you so sure?
Because over my lifetime in the journalistic world, one bad performance can do terrible things to a career.
Yep.
For a Rangers player against Celtic, or a Celtic player against Rangers.
Couldn't agree more. But he played against Ajax the next game and didn't do much wrong.
But still lost 4-0. So
but why, if that's the case, then you drop him after the Celtic game?
Well,
Giovanni Van Bronckhorst stuck with him, said he was standing by him. He didn't do anything wrong against Ajax, and now he's injured.
Is he?
Yeah.
Right. I still don't think that he will replace Alan McGregor anytime soon.
You know what I'm here for. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I still think it's interesting. It's going to be one to watch, because Giovanni Van Bronckhorst put a lot of faith in John McLaughlin, and he stood by him, almost went out of his way to stand by him, some would say. So is he now going to drop him?
I think
he's done nothing wrong in his eyes.
If you show faith in the player, and then the player fails to justify the faith that you have shown in him, then the manager has no other response.
Again, why not drop him for the Ajax game then?
No, he gave him, he thought, I have to give, I can't be seen just to throw him under the bus.
But he then didn't do anything wrong in that
But
match.
he still lost 4-0 though.
So?
Well, it was 8-0 in aggregate.
See, answer
then
the
Celtic
question.
and Ajax.
I think the timing of the goalkeeper's injury has helped.
It's been the best
Rangers
thing
manager
to help the decision-making
because
process.
it'll now be the fact that McGregor's went in there. I think McGregor's still the number one goalkeeper, as probably a lot of people do, and I think it's given the perfect avenue for McGregor to continue now in goals for Rangers.
Maybe so. The angle I'm trying to come at this from, Mark, is not whether you, me, Hugh Keevins, Gordon Dalziel, not whether we think Alan McGregor is Rangers' best goalkeeper. Trying to understand that thought process of Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. He didn't drop him for the Ajax game. Celtic was horrific and he kept him in, and you couldn't have held any of the 4 goals against him really in Amsterdam. So it'll be really fascinating to know what Giovanni Van Bronckhorst truly feels about that situation.
I don't think there's any doubt that McLaughlin would have played midweek and today had he been fit. Van Bronckhorst has made his opinion pretty clear. None of us know what's happened from the end of May into the start of the season with Alan McGregor, why he got demoted to number 2. But there's no doubt in my mind McGregor's the best keeper. I think take his saves and what he does on the pitch.
Tell you what, Hugh, I'm going to give a couple of extra minutes. There's still no third place on the podium for the teaser, so quickly give us the question again and I'll give you a couple of extra minutes to see if we can fill the podium.
Name the last 8 players to score for Rangers in a Champions League match from the group stages onwards.
Right, come on, let's see what we can do. I'll give you a couple of helping hints. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Scots in there, so 5 of the 8 are Scottish. There is a European in there. There is an American in there. It's really a big clue. And someone who plays for an African nation as well. So come on, let's see if we can get that podium filled up. 1 minute added on at Ibrox. Rangers fans starting to grumble slightly at the lack of cutting edge. Dundee 1, Inverness 2. Billy Mackay with a 47th minute penalty. Hibs. And Liam Scales has been sent off. It's now
Double whammy.
falling apart for Aberdeen, potentially, certainly if this penalty goes in.
Yeah, that's a blow right in half time. Bad
Right,
enough
we're going to have
conceding.
to hold this thought because it's half time Ibrox, it's half time Livy, but it's a penalty Hibs. So let's just wait and see if that one does hit the back of the net. What a way to finish the half. How different is your team talk if you're
Who
Jim
takes the
Goodwin?
penalties for Hibs?
Martin Boyle when he's there, and
Birth of a child this week. You
Yeah,
want to
good
score
see
the
that.
goal
Just gonna do
dedicated
the
to his child.
rocking the baby celebration.
Yeah.
What was that, World Cup 94, that first?
Yeah.
Was it
Bebeto.
Brazil? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if he pulls that out the bag. If he even did he start the game? Remind me. I don't think he'll take the penalty if he didn't. Just a bit of a delay. Not sure what's happening there. He did start the game, so I'm sure he would certainly be in the conversation to take the penalty. What is the delay there? Still nothing. Okay, waiting patiently. It is half-time Ibrox, half-time Livy, as we said. So we'll go to Livy very soon. Wow, the tension, I can feel it from Easter Road. If we're finding it a long way, what is going on there? Martin Boyle is going to take it. He still hasn't, incidentally. And he
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
scores. That changes things. Hibs 1, Aberdeen 1, right in the stroke of half time. Aberdeen down to 10 men. Sides are level. He sent the keeper the wrong way. It is half time at Ibrox at the break. It sits Rangers 1, Dundee United 0. Antonio Cholak with the early goal. He finished emphatically, confidently into the bottom corner after a Dundee United set piece. Rangers broke up the other end 9 minutes in and found that opener. They had big chances even before that. Ryan Kent 8 yards out, fluffed his lines and couldn't put Rangers in front. Cholak made sure there was a sigh of relief around Ibrox, and it looked like it could have been a really long afternoon for Dundee United, but slowly but surely they got to grips with it. They even had some chances at goal. Hark sent one well wide. Beich asked Alan McGregor to make a low save, and they have got into certain areas, as you would expect. Rangers in dominating the game and enjoying most of it, but that crucial stat from the match, it's just 1 in favour of Rangers. Rangers 1, Dundee United 0. What about a first half report from Fraser at Livingston?
Livingston 1, Kilmarnock 0. Not a game with a lot of chances, but there's always something going on, a real physical edge to the game. The only goal came from left back Christian Montano. You remember he scored the winner against Hearts a couple of weeks ago. He headed Livy in front at the same end. Really slow start to the game, scrappy by both sides. Took 15 minutes before we got an effort on goal. It came from Livy. Stefano Muyongo burst in behind the Kilmarnock back four. Lovely pass by Montano, and he shot over. Omiyonga, rather than taking it into the box, shot over from 18 yards. The other end, a couple of minutes later, Dan Armstrong, quite bright for Kelly in this first half. On the right hand side, got to the byline, past Montano, his low right foot cross deflected of Sean Kelly. Good save by George Lowe to his left. That was the only effort on goal by Kelly in the first half. Very few chances at either end, both going back to front with the big strikers. Defence is coping well, and it led to a battle for the second ball in midfield. No real quality on the ball, but the opener did come in 25 minutes. Very simple goal, an in-swinging Sean Kelly corner from the right hand side. Christian Montano rose unchallenged at the front post to head home from 6 yards out. Jason Holt almost made it 2. Really good feet inside the box, got himself a couple of yards. His low shots heading for goal, but it was blocked 6 yards out by Alan Power. A bit more life to the game after the goal, a few heavy challenges as well. Kelly really struggling to match Newbley and Guthrie's physicality. Newbley on the left in particular outstanding, combining in the strength with very quick feet. Always direct running, always a danger to the Kelly defence, but really nothing else, much else to talk about in terms of chances in front of goal. I think Derek McKinnon's disappointed with his team in the final third. They competed well, defended okay, and he might turn to Lafferty or Cameron and Shaw on the bench quickly to try and get back into the game. But for David Martindale, Livy have just done what Livy do, and he'll look for much more of the same in the second half. Half time here, Livingston 1, Kilmarnock 0.
Still playing at Easter Road. That was a dramatic end to the first half. I think it's a half-time break already at McDermott Park, Roger.
Yes, it is. St Johnstone 0, Ross County 0 at the break. No goals and really nothing between the sides, and what's been quite an entertaining first half at McDermott Park. Ross County started brighter, but it was St Johnstone who almost took the lead in their first attack in 6 minutes. Stevie May getting the ball 12 yards out, lifting a shot across Ross Laidlaw, but it came back off the inside of the post to safety. County went to the other end and they struck woodwork after 9 minutes. Good play by William Aki on the right hand side. He got away from Andy Considine, get into the box, laid off a pass to Kazim Olaigbe. His shot came back off the underside of the bar, crashed down, clearly one over, and Olaigbe causing real problems for St Johnstone at that stage. He dragged a shot wide after 19 minutes after a good pass from left back Ben Purrington. St Johnstone, they've got Ryan McGowan in central midfield after a recall for the skipper Liam Gordon this afternoon, and McGowan the first guy in Matthew McDermott's book for a foul on Jack Baldwin after 23 minutes. St Johnstone coming into the game, they could have taken the lead on the half hour, and an in-swinging corner from the right hand side. It was met by the boot of Andy Considine inside the 6 yard box. Decent save by Ross Laidlaw, and somehow the county defence managed to smuggle the loose ball to safety. All to play for in the second half. St Johnstone 0, Ross County 0.
What an end to that first half at Easter Road. Dave Galloway, tell us all about it.
Yes, indeed. Hibs 1, Aberdeen 1 at the interval, Gordon. A dream start for the visitors as they took the lead in the 4th minute with a superbly executed goal. Coulson's cross from the left, brilliantly guided home by Duke, making his first start for Aberdeen. Hibs hit back and started to dominate possession. From a corner there was an almighty goalmouth scramble, but Hanlon couldn't force the ball in from point blank range. However, the flag had just gone up for offside. From a Don's counter-attack though, Porteous was forced to make a hurried clearance over his own crossbar. Overall, for all the hosts, territorial superiority. Their final ball was really lacking. Newell hit a 25-yard free kick straight at Roos and also struck a shot well wide from distance. But as half-time beckoned, Ewan forced Roos into a brilliant save to keep out a well-struck drive from over 20 yards. Hibs kept on the pressure, and in injury time they got a thoroughly deserved equaliser, and it came from the penalty spot. Scales fouled Porteous in the box. He got a second yellow card for his trouble, so off he went, and Boyle made a great job of the spot kick, sending Roos the wrong way to make it at the interval. Hibs 1, Aberdeen 1.
We'll do a half-time score roundup and the answers and winners of the first half teaser next.
The fastest goals, the expert opinions. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Half-time scores around the country then, starting with the Scottish Premiership. It's Hibs 1, Aberdeen 1, Livingston 1, Kilmarnock 0, Rangers 1, Dundee United 0, and St Johnstone 0, Ross County 0. In the Championship, Dundee 1, Inverness 2, Hamilton Accies 0, Queen's Park 1, Morton 0, Arbroath 2, and Partick Thistle 1, Cove Rangers 0, Wraith Rovers 2, Ayr United 0. In Scottish League 1, Airdrieonians 1, Clyde 0, Alloa 0, Montrose 0, Dunfermline 0, Falkirk 1, Peterhead 1, Kelty Hearts 0, Queen of the South 1, FC Edinburgh 0. In League 2, goalless, Albion Rovers 4-4, Annan 0, East Fife 2, Dumbarton 1, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Stenhousemuir 1, Elgin 1, and Stirling Albion 4, Stranraer 1. To finish with the English Premier League at the moment, full time was Wolves 0, Man City 3, Newcastle 0, Bournemouth 0. And in fact, that is your lot at the moment as things stand. So Hugh Keevins, it is half time, but let's round this off if we can. We haven't announced the winners yet.
The first half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
Name the last 8 players to score for Rangers in a Champions League match from the group stages onwards. They are Kenny Miller, Morris Edu, Stephen Naismith, Lee McCulloch, Nacho Novo, Majid Bugera, Charlie Adam and Barry Ferguson.
Well done if you got them right. Nizzy was third fastest, Derek Morrison in second, and Michael Smith the winner. Well done. Second half's next.
Scottish football's league leader. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard. Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast with Taggart's Volvo. The Volvo new car sale event ends soon. You can get 0% APR conditional sale on a Volvo mild hybrid SUV. Taggart's, part of the Lookers family. Clyde One's Super Scoreboard Podcast with Taggart's Land Rover, part of the Lookers family. Great deals on new and approved used Land Rovers. Search online. Scottish football's league leader. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Second half's already underway across the country. Rangers 1-0 up from the break, and early action in the first exchanges of the second half, I should say, is a penalty shout for Dundee United. It was Barisic was chasing Tony Watt. Tony Watt goes to ground, and he felt he should have had a penalty, wasn't given. And we'll probably argue about that in the days to come, but you never know, Hugh. Might have been nothing in it. Doesn't stop us.
Referee Kevin Clancy, the man that Rangers have protested over in the past, actually took the step of writing to the authorities to have an 8-point go at the referee after his performance at Aberdeen one night. But on this occasion, Kevin Clancy has not given a penalty against Rangers.
Well, wait and see what the fallout from that one is. I'm not sure. It wasn't major protest, by the way. It's just a claim from Tony Watt, and it waved away. So on we go. Same teams, I believe. I don't think there's been any changes at the break. Yeah, no changes in fact. So still Rangers 1, Dundee United 0. And it feels like the end of the second half did become a bit pedestrian. Gordon did become not quite what the Rangers fans hoped it would be when the game started. So you can change that. You can change it quickly. Come out the blocks here and try and turn things in the right direction.
They'll be hoping to start the second half like they did the first. Gordon got that early goal. The second goal puts this game to bed. Well, it's still 1-0. Dundee United have got decent players, like say guys up front like Tony Watt that can put the ball in the back of the net. I know his record at Tannadice just since he signed there from Motherwell hasn't been that great, but he's always a threat. Tony's a good player. He's a very experienced player as well. But I think Rangers will be trying to put this game to bed as quick as they possibly can. And if it goes 15-20 minutes and there's no sign of that, there's plenty of talent on that bench to come on and prove a point.
If you can make an early season comparison between Celtic and Rangers, and they are 1 and 2 in the league, so you're entitled to have a bash at it. Celtic are thrilling to watch and have a goal difference of 24. Rangers happen to have started in a way that means that you wouldn't describe them as thrilling. They've got a goal difference of 8.
Hello, before we crack on with the podcast, I want to tell you about Taggart's Motor Group, our official podcast sponsor. Now, Taggart's have the Volvo new car sale event. It takes place from Monday the 12th of September right up until the 26th. During those 2 weeks, there's 0% APR on the mild hybrid XC range and an exclusive servicing offer of your first 3 services for £399, plus quick delivery this year while stocks last. In Glasgow in the West, your nearest Volvo showroom is at Hillington, just 10 minutes from Ibrox and the Smythe Stadium, or head online to taggarts.co.uk/Volvo.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
You're about to say 9.
They've just added to the goal difference. Your timing, as always, is impeccable. Rangers 2, Dundee United 0. Barisic cross, a near post finish from Antonio Cholak. You can't really argue with the goals total he is providing, and he has got 2. Rangers have got 2, and that changes things.
Yeah, it certainly does. I said, listen, take the words right out of my mouth. It was a case of get the second goal. They've started the second half same way as they did the first. Got the goal. Cholak's the man. I tell you, he's got to feel a little bit unlucky to have been left out. I know that he had a couple of games there he didn't do a lot, but he's a guy that thrives on decent quality. You get decent quality to this guy, he's got a knack of putting the ball in the net. He's good at it.
Yeah,
you know
gets across the front post and does really well to score that one. It was a good cross-bar on Barisic as well. Nice finish, and a 9th goal of the season for Antonio Cholak.
That's impressive when you say it like that. I mean, he's certainly one of the signings that has hit the ground running, and that's where the pressure of Morelos over his shoulders. Daz is right. I mean, might have felt a wee bit hard done by midweek. We were discussing it. You know, I always thought that Rangers would need Morelos to hold the ball up because they're totally different players. It's no doubt though, when the ball comes in the box, this guy can finish, and it's a good problem for Van Bronckhorst to have just now.
It doesn't alter my opinion that thus far in the season Celtic are thrilling and Rangers are not as thrilling as Celtic. So I revert to my default setting. I said to you before a 5, and I'm halfway there.
Yeah, you can't argue with that, Hugh. You came out early. Look, it was what the boys were saying. Mark said it Thursday, David Friel said it this afternoon. You couldn't have picked, and not been disrespectful to Dundee United, but you couldn't have picked a better game at Ibrox in the league, especially with the way Dundee United have been performing lately. But they've still got to get it over the line, and so far they've achieved it.
Okay, just a reminder of how things sit then. Hibs scored late in the first half, a Martin Boyle penalty to cancel out Duke's opener, so 1-1 Hibs Aberdeen Easter Road. Christian Montano has Livingston 1-up against Kilmarnock early in the second half. St Johnstone, Ross County still goalless, and Rangers now 2-0 up. Antonio Cholak has both. Jamie Burjonas, former Rangers player, has scored for Kelty to draw them level against Peterhead. And that gives us the perfect opportunity, Hugh, if you are ready.
I am.
The second half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
I have played alongside Graham Dorrans, Patrick Schick, Lomana Lualua, and been managed by Roberto Di Matteo and Sven-Goran Eriksson. I've won the top flight and cup in my own country, but only won one major domestic accolade in Scotland. I have played for 10 clubs across 5 different European countries. Who am I? A lot of information to absorb. I played alongside Graham Dorrans, Patrick Schick, and Lomana Lualua. I've been managed by Roberto Di Matteo and Sven-Goran Eriksson. I've won the top flight and cup in my own country, but only won one major domestic trophy in Scotland. I've played for 10 clubs across 5 different European countries. Who am I?
Oh wow, that's a lot to get through. If you want to see it all written down, go to @ClydeSSB on Twitter, and of course that's where you send your answer as well. Less typing involved in the second half teaser, just one name, but maybe a bit more thought to try and figure out all those clues. It won't be going well for the Accies fans, because Queen's Park have just taken a 2-goal lead. Grant Savoury, that's at Hamilton as well, so that's not ideal.
Yeah, big result that for Queen's Park. They're going about their business well in that division, where Cove have struggled. They certainly seem more comfortable. I tell you what, that teaser, I'm going to say nobody's getting that. That's really tough. So much info.
Someone will have that in minutes.
Yeah,
just always do. It is a tough question,
and it's ungoogleable.
You never underestimate just how smart some of our listeners are with this stuff. They know their football inside out. They put it all
we'll struggle.
It's not so much that, it's the way they piece it all together.
Was there many clues about his time in Scotland? He's
No.
won one, so that's why I think that's so difficult. He's won one honour in Scotland.
Yep.
Did that say?
Yep.
That's what makes it
I
so
think you
difficult.
could be a single leaf in the second half, working alone. Because I
Failing
haven't-
to provide any shade.
Yeah, because I
You
have
have no clue.
absolutely no clue.
No
just
clue.
now, no.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll see how you get on. It is tough, I must admit. But we'll see how you go at Clyde SSB. Try and get in touch. Hugh's been rehearsing all during the halftime break, by the way. We'll get him to do his best Robbie Williams impression very soon as he sings the new Andy Halliday song. He'll be, Andy, delighted to know, I'm sure, enjoying his day off. Ruined when he hears
Of course,
that.
he's got a day off today.
Yeah, because
Listen,
Motherwell Hearts tomorrow. Are you going? Are we going?
Yes.
I should
What
say,
time do you
Fir
want
Park
to meet?
tomorrow? In all seriousness, why not? I am going, but you won't.
Yeah, we'll go.
You'll find some excuse.
No, at all. 3 o'clock. I've got it in the diary.
No, you've not. Because
I
I asked
have.
you yesterday if you were going. You said definitely
No,
not.
I did say I would be going. I'll
a
be
joke.
at Fir Park tomorrow.
I would have been
Absolute
there. I
joke.
I
got
don't,
it.
the only thing is, I like to sit behind the goals. I hate the main stand.
That's absolute nonsense. Nobody chooses to sit behind the goals.
You do. You got a better view for
You
it.
don't. A better view of
for me.
what? Half the
game.
pitch?
No, I like watching the tactical side of it. The defence, midfield, attacking, the way they're going about.
You can't
their
see
business.
that from the
I just,
main stand.
Plus the fact the main stand, the seats are a bit.
But answer me
sore
this
for
then: when managers and scouts and coaches go to watch opposition, why do they never sit behind the goal?
Well, that's where the mistake they're making. That's why a lot of signings are failing, especially the summer ones. I just like the view at the back of the goals. I don't know the better seats for
Don't
me.
think there's another thing that sums him up.
I know.
More than that. There. That strangeness. That
I mean,
quirkiness.
look, I don't
quirky is
get
the
me
word of the
wrong.
week.
For a fan, like, you know, fine, like a real hardcore fan, which you're not, and you've had that seat forever, and you like it, and you go with your pals and whatever, and you're only interested in maybe the home team. But for you, a student of the game, to say that you prefer to sit behind the goal, nonsense.
No, I like seeing the way the back four and the goalkeeper works. I like seeing the runs. You can see them better from behind
Tell
the
you
goals.
what, it must
I
be a
really-
closer exit to his house. Something along
It is.
those lines.
It is
Actually, it
actually,
is.
yeah.
I really admire the Dazzler because I've never heard a man who can cram so many lies
I know,
into
I
a
know.
single sentence.
You should have
As a-
heard me.
as
in
a
my,
kid,
you should
that
have
was
heard me
great.
in my
I
heyday
was
coming
going to say,
home
Hugh,
on a Saturday night.
gave it a good go. Wraith Rovers 2, Ayr 1 in the Gordon Dalziel derby. Brad Young has
Ooh.
pulled one back. Partick Thistle 2, Cove Rangers 0, Stuart Bannigan. And in the big derby, if you like,
Benedictus.
Dunfermline 1, Falkirk 1. I don't know if it's a derby as such, but there's just a bit of needle there, isn't there?
Stephen Mills going back onto the pitch to look for his
Kyle
pie. now.
Benedictus. By the way, the SPFL is raining goals. Alloa 1, Montrose 0. George Stanger with the goal there. I was going to say, now this maybe only matters to regular fans of the show who've followed this journey. I was going to accuse you of tomorrow you won't actually go to the Motherwell game. You'll just stay at home.
I will.
You'll get your feet up on the recliner and you'll enjoy your Saturday.
Oh, no.
But it's practically become another pundit on the show, a character if you like. The recliner is on its last legs.
Yeah, Gordon was telling me that.
There
Yeah.
are
really?
structural problems,
I'm having a nightmare.
mechanical issues with the recliner.
I
Now,
don't.
you've
I,
not had it that long.
I
I
know.
remember when I
Exactly.
got delivered. What have you been up to?
I don't know what's happened to the recliner, but it's not.
Excessive
Listen.
reclining
Yeah, the recliner
has caused an early damage to what should have lasted you much longer.
I have a solution for you.
Yeah,
Last
I know the
week-
solution. Lock the door.
Last week at the Leaning Tower of Pisa, I was told by the tour guide that it cost €4 billion to save the Leaning Tower of Pisa from falling down altogether, which is why they charge every person €20 to go inside and walk up the stairs. But if you start a GoFundMe page,
For the recliner.
yeah,
No,
think
I
we could-
just need someone out there with expertise to know that. See the wee flick that whooshes out, right?
Is that a technical term?
Yeah, somebody will know what exactly I'm talking about. It seems to be not quite working.
Stuck.
Sticking.
No, it's more. It's slack, but there's no strength in it to.
Nothing worse.
what about that workshop TV programme where you take your
Oh,
favourite
imagine
job?
him.
Imagine.
I
don't-
do not. Well,
I don't
listen,
think it works for recliners you've had for 2 years. I think it's meant to be like antiques and stuff that you get,
this is the top of
reconditioned.
the range.
There must be a guarantee with that. Eh?
Not 2 years.
But I think
Why
you've
would you?
done something to make the guarantee.
Any recliner
Not work.
experts out there?
Yeah,
get
please
round.
help. Please help, because
get
that's
your
my
hazmat
life.
suit on and go round and take a look at it. See what you can do. Oh, hold on, we've got another one of these.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
It's a goal at Ibrox and it's for Dundee United. They are back in it. It's Rangers 2, Dundee United 1. Liam Smith with the goal. They just brought on Anaku, Ugandan international. What an impact he's made. Don't even know if he had anything to do with it. But Liam Smith has pulled one back and it's Rangers 2, Dundee United 1.
Go back to my point. Celtic are thrilling, Rangers aren't.
Go back to
And
your prediction. Rangers would
exactly.
win 4 or 5
Yeah,
nil.
yeah. But there's always a default setting. I can imagine the rumbling and grumbling at Ibrox among the crowd, because they didn't come to see 2-1. They came to see something emphatic, and Rangers have had a first half in which they were so far in front it wasn't funny for Dundee United. So,
and I take it back. Sadat Happy Anaku, as he's known. Happy, what a name that is. And he did well. Played a part in the build-up. It was eventually played into Smith.
if anything happens here,
Sorry, it was just an overly dramatic pause for me while I gathered my thoughts to make sure I word this fairly. Would John McLaughlin have been slaughtered for that part in the goal if it was him?
Yeah, 100%. As I say, I think the one thing McGregor's brilliant is shop stocking. But
well, the thing is, he saved 2 with his feet in the first half, and one of them was probably a better finish than that. No offence to Liam Smith.
Yeah.
I
think that's
listen,
more than disappointing.
The bottom line here, Rangers are playing the team at the bottom of the league, a team who have been battered from pillar to post in European and domestic football this season, and they're 2-1 at home. They're unconvincing, and there's half an hour to go, and Dundee United have pulled their goal back. This is not what the Rangers fans came to see.
I know people think it can be cheap to just make the comparison, but how are you not meant to? It's the great city rivals. They're 1 and 2 in the league. You know, it's hard to get away from it, Gordon. The kind of thing that Celtic do now is, let's take the League Cup game. 68 minutes on the clock. Ross County pegged them back to 2-1. Oof, could it get nervy?
No.
They just kick on and win 4-1 on the opening day of the season. Ross County, with an hour gone, peg it back, make it 1-1. No fuss, just go on and win 3-1. This is different. You know, Rangers it's 2-1. Does that rattle you, or does it just give you a little wake up and you go on and win as comfortably as everyone expected you? That's what Rangers now need to answer.
yeah, I totally agree. But the way Rangers have been going lately, I think it will rattle them more in the fact of the confidence. If you're a Celtic fan and you lose a goal and it goes 2-1, I think you're very confident that, look, the team will up the gears, put in another gear, go and score a few goals, put the game to bed. I would honestly believe the Rangers fans are not that mindset yet. They'd be probably looking the negative side, thinking we can't afford to lose another goal here because we ain't going to win this game. So I think that's where Rangers are just now, but it's up to them to show a bit of character.
See,
today.
I thought I could remember a Liam Smith goal against Alan McGregor and Rangers just a couple of seasons ago. I didn't want to commit, and producer Callum has confirmed he remembers all these things, certainly when it's at Tannadice, so he likes scoring in the fixture. 2-1 Rangers then. Livingston 1, Kilmarnock 0, and Killie have responded with a triple substitution. Jones, Murray and Lyons on, Polworth, Dorset and Armstrong off. So Derek McInnes has seen enough. Hibs are on top, as you may expect, because Aberdeen are down to 10 men, but it's still 1 apiece. The Duke cancelled out by Martin Boyle's penalty. Ruse is just blocked from Josh Campbell, went out for a corner. So Hibs very much on top in that one with the numerical advantage there. And yeah, still goalless St Johnstone, Ross County, I'm afraid.
It doesn't sound like a classic, to be fair. Roger Hanna should concentrate on the second half teaser.
People have got that, you know.
Have they?
Have they?
Told you.
Well,
the level is
I
a joke.
underestimated them.
I've got a sneaky this has been on before because I've got somebody in mind.
What do you mean? This exact question?
Yeah.
No, that's not the way they've.
Write down his name and I'll tell you.
You won't get this.
Well, Mark will verify.
Just write down his name then.
I've not looked at
Come
my
on.
phone
Just write down his name.
because I think I've heard this before. Right?
Just even his surname. Never mind his Christian name. Just write down.
I'm not having it.
No, he's wrong.
Nah. Let me see. What name did you put?
I don't know. I think that's how you spell it.
It's definitely not how you spell it.
Well, do you know what? You're not alone. JC hit the byline, tweeted
See,
me.
he's been on before. That's
he,
why
he tweeted me saying it's Yusuf Malumbu and it's
No,
not Hugh
no, it's
Keevins,
not.
is it? Right, we'll get that one out the way then.
Oh, I was so excited there.
Ibrox is grumbling. Anaku is very quick and very direct, and that's shaking things up a bit. And
Oh, sorry.
they're not happy.
Well,
I told you they didn't come to see 2-1. The Rangers fans have been shocked to the core over the last fortnight. Rangers fans aren't used to an aggregate 11-0 against them over the course of 3 matches, and now they're playing the bottom team in the league and they're still not convincing.
Just a word of praise. We don't do it very often, Gordon Dalziel, but you have shown yourself up. The least you can do for your partner in crime there is congratulate him.
What's he done?
He stepped up to the plate majorly today with his cake selection.
Right. I've got to say,
Yep.
I don't give a lot of praise out in this show.
We've noticed.
And I'm right to do it because there's not a lot of people in here that deserve a praise. Mr. Keevins for his song in Italy got to me today. Really did. And I'll live with me. This man has produced the best cakes I've ever seen this show in all the years I've been on.
Yep.
Right?
It's up there.
Hannah comes in with digestives and rich tea, brings a bit of.
No. Your Hannah's biscuit
he
selection is good.
Yeah, Hannah's
Two-
good. Yeah.
He brought one chocolate cookie thing, right? It wasn't even good. Nobody even ate them. In fact, they're still there. So this boy comes in, an Italian. Was it an Italian?
He's gone to like a deli. He's gone for proper
He
fresh
has-
cakes.
he has
Cream and
gone-
Local
he
to
has-
my bit, yeah.
he has-
that good that he ate 2.
Oh,
That's how
I
good they
even
were.
2 of them.
2.
I didn't eat
and
2.
they're not small. You
One-
did
They
eat
were
2.
massive.
I
You did
didn't
eat
eat 2. No, I didn't. I
Yeah,
ate
2
one and a
cakes.
half.
And is this how you prepare, Mark Wilson? You've got big physical exertion tomorrow.
Oh, got
Of
the
course.
kill walk tomorrow. Yeah, I need to get the carbs on me and get all
and
the
the sugar
energy.
in.
By the way, she just
And the
mentioned it on the
artificial
show the other
colourings.
night, and we had a wee joke about it. Thank you to everybody who did donate. You know, I know it's a bit of a joke, but people do actually listen to this show and put their hands in their pockets. So very generous. A lot of comments coming in asking me to call Daz a certain thing on air, and they would donate more, but I don't think I can because I'll be sacked. A lot of people want you
What,
to
just
do
like
it.
a random insult?
Aye.
Do you know? I'll
Write
be
it down for me. I'm curious.
I'll be with you in.
Why that?
I'll be with you in spirit.
I really am confused as to what people want you to call Gordon Dalziel on this show.
I
It's
would.
very specific. I mean, not entirely. Not saying it's not accurate, but
Aye.
I would probably put large in front of that.
right, enough. Seriously, behave yourself. However, you missed his job application the other night, Hugh. We've got a career change lined up. He said when he shouldn't have that he met Hoopy the Huddle Hound the other day. Presumably not in costume, but we don't listen. We'll skip by in case we don't want to shatter any illusions out there.
I've met Hoopy.
And so Glasgow Wellington got in touch and said, would you be willing to dress up as the Wellington statue? They're looking for a mascot, and you could be the guy. They think you could, but it honestly gathered a little bit of attention.
Have I get better
on
offers?
social media. No, I just mean Glasgow Wellington have really upped it.
Right, okay.
They want to create a
money
new
in.
mascot called DL the Duke. And they're
good
serious.
idea.
They say let's make something of this for Cash for Kids. There's 90 players involved at the club. They say they could maybe get a bit of money,
Right, okay.
and
I'm in.
they've got you on, one of these sort of horse costumes, and it makes it look like so your legs are in the hind legs, and it makes it look like it's a proper horse, and you've got the cone on the head. Look, we go. They've sent me a nice picture.
Right, I'm going to tell you something, right? And the boys will verify that. I went out.
Hugh, you having that?
No, not really.
Hugh, I went out like that on a Christmas night out, fancy dress with a horse.
Well, there you are. You've got experience.
Right, and I know how to go with the horse.
Well, it's not that. You just walk normally, and
No,
then
no,
it
you've
looks
got
like.
to. No, if you're going, you've got to trot and all that.
All right, okay. So you could do that for us.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
It's been coming, a 2-goal advantage for Hibs. It was a nice turning shot from Campbell. Remember, they have the man advantage. 2-1, sorry, to Hibs. They have the man advantage, and it's counted. So there we are. Josh Campbell, 62 minutes, 2-1. Forgive me for getting that one wrong there. It was the penalty from Martin Boyle on the stroke of half time that wiped out Duke's opener. And now Josh Campbell's made it 2-1. Good
They
win
had
that
to
would
make-
be
yeah.
for Hibs if they could hang on.
Well, they had to make it count. I mean, last week, 2 weeks ago, should I say, Kilmarnock got into 10 men and they stuttered over the line. I don't think they can afford another stuttering performance. So getting the second goal now gives them enough time to build on it. But what a disappointment for Jim Goodwin. He must have been granted at half time team talk, thinking brilliant, keep things the same way they're going, and everything is spun in a matter of 20 minutes.
Wright and Tillman are warming up for Rangers. Rangers from about, I don't need to pick an exact minute, but they've not been flying for now the majority of this game.
Yeah.
And there's now 68 minutes gone with no subs. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, because it's usually
Especially now when you can use the 5.
Yeah, it's usually around about the 60-minute mark. I think you're looking for a reaction 15 minutes after your half-time team talk. When it goes 2-0, you're probably thinking, right, that's it. It'll probably be 3 points on the board. We can get through this game and move forward. But Dundee United's put a spanner in the works. And I think you'll need to get some forward-thinking players on to try and get the next one.
Yeah, Scott McMahon's come on for Dundee United. Ross Graham has gone off, so they've made the first change. It's not even their first change. They'd made changes already. Arfield and Jack have gone off. Wright and Tillman have gone on. Does that make sense? Is that going to shake up? Is that a bit more
Bit pace,
a
bit more
pace?
direct,
Yeah.
creativity. Yeah, I think so. But a bit shades of Motherwell last season. Was it Motherwell last season? Rangers were 2 up and cruising, and we all thought it was game over, and all of a sudden there was a sting in the tail at the end. Need to be wary of that.
Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has to be careful. He's into the last quarter of the game. If any points are dropped today, the subject of Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's future goes on the table. That's how bad it is at the moment. He has, even if it's scraping through 2-1, he's now in a position where he has to scrape through.
Yeah, they're grumbling, certainly. Bit of frustration setting in, as Hugh Keevins says there. It's getting audible to those in the stadium. Stenhousemuir 2, Elgin 3. Good game that. Kane Hester. Airdrie running away with it. 3-0 up against Clyde. Callum Smith with the goal there. So lots happening. Can we get any more drama in the Scottish Premiership? Because it's now poised at Ibrox, which we didn't expect, you have to say. A chance then, Gordon, if there is a lot of fascination around Malik Tillman and his very up and down season already, maybe a chance for him to come on. Can you be the match winner to secure things? Can you be the difference?
Yeah, I think it's a chance to come on and just get that confidence going again. As I say, up until the Celtic game, I thought, he's a promising player. He's looking very good in a Rangers jersey. Everybody was talking about him. I know what Fraser's saying about, he's still a young lad, he's 20, but you cross the side, you look at Abada. Abada's 20 for me, and I don't look at Abada and I think, well, give him a chance. I think Tillman has got a bit of talent, but where I do agree with you, when I watched him against Celtic, it was like the game was too big for him. Now, he will take time, and other players do take time to settle into clubs. Of course they do. He's certainly got a bit of talent in this lad, and it'll be interesting to see now. He's been given that sort of a brought out the fire line a little bit. Back in the now, it's up to him to make an impact.
Right, keep your answers coming into that teaser, by the way. I'm going to check in on that in just a second. There's not many goals that get scored in the English lower leagues that are not by a Scotsman that interest me, but Reading are 1 up through Thomas Ince. Now our old pal Alex Ray is the assistant manager there. What about them signing Andy Carroll? And I'm wearing the number 2 jersey. 10-point deduction as an absolute minimum for me. I mean, and Alex Ray should know better, because he's been on this show. He knows how passionately we care about the nonsense element of football. That somebody's got to put their foot down. Number 2, Andy Carroll.
Yeah, I can't.
It's got to be the player. Players got to have requested that.
But number
because
2?
there's no way. Aye, it's that odd that if a striker's handed number 2, they go, no, listen, give me one of the higher numbers. I'm not having number 2. He must have requested that for some reason. It's odd. It takes you back to like Zidane at
Number
5.
unbelievable.
There's been a few.
But then he was so good, he sort of made that his own.
Yeah.
What was the other one? William
Haksabanovic is 9, which is recent.
That's
all right.
He's a
it's
winger.
the right area of the pitch, though. What about did William Gallas not get number 10? Remember, he was a centre half and he moved, and then I think they given the number 10.
Number 2 is up there with the worst, though. I
Yeah.
didn't even like wearing number 2.
Yeah, we noticed you get 12.
I asked for a 1 to make it more glamorous,
Yeah.
more continental.
Just to underline that you're the second choice right back. Just, sure. What would the other examples of terrible numbers be? There must be loads out there, but Andy Carroll is number 2 is going to be close. Certainly.
Is there not a goalkeeper recently?
Derek Riordan we're 0-1
0-1
because he couldn't get 10 when he went back to Hibs.
What did Rudy
He
Scatchell wear?
went
Something at Dundee
51
United
for like
51.
5-1. No, but
5-1.
that's different. That's got a little story attached to it. I'm talking about ones that are just downright inappropriate. By the way, it just shows you this. You don't take on, just a lesson for you, number 12.
Yes.
You don't take on the head of PFA Scotland. You will be put in your place. He says your comparison. Lil Abada played 67 games and scored 20 goals before he signed for Celtic. Tillman played 4 games for
That
Bayern.
wasn't him, it was me. who
Actually,
said
very
it.
hang fire. Wasn't
That was
me.
me
It was
saying
Daz. So
Back
so
in your box,
redirect
DL, he
that.
said.
Yeah, you're talking about age. Listen, doesn't matter.
It's experience though. Age is just a number, as you well
right,
know.
Yeah, okay. 68 games.
67,
Right,
you know,
67. So it's not really a massive experience
It's 2
that he's
seasons
got
worth.
in terms of it. I just think Fraser's talking nonsense. Just try to keep him both sides.
Keep on both sides. Okay. Yeah, Derek Riordan 0-1. David Friel said. We mentioned that. David, keep up. Any more inappropriate numbers out there that can beat Andy Carroll's number 2? It's going to be tough.
What was it? This might be a bad one. What about Dani Alves? Did he not change his number at Barcelona in Remy or something? Yeah.
That's different. Come on, you've now put a very serious spin on what was a non-serious
No,
topic.
it was the boy who was the captain at Barcelona and lifted the Champions League trophy at Wembley.
Abidal.
Remember? Abidal. Did he not change that
But
number?
again,
he
I'm
was-
not talking about things that are nice wee gestures. I'm just talking about clubs that have cluelessly
There
given.
must be a reason behind Andy Carroll.
Like clubs don't just give you a number. If you're Andy Carroll, you get to pick your number.
Number 2 must
Yeah.
be special to him somewhere along the line.
No, but I got number 3 at Bristol City, and I actually got to pick that, and I don't know why I picked it. Unlucky. Unlucky
Hugh,
number
sorry
3.
to tell you, Clydebank 1, Spartans 2. Wee Cup exit on the. I mean, what that V Cup run last year, of course.
I hope the bus breaks down.
What was the game? Was it
I
Clyde?
won. It's a nice bus. I seen it in the way in.
Beat Clyde and out to Annan, was it?
Yep.
Or the other way
Yeah,
around? Yeah, we had
Annan.
Clyde.
Annan.
Yeah.
Was the one.
Terrific cup run. Absolutely
What were they? Were
brilliant.
they 2-1 or 3-1 up in the last couple of minutes and ended up chucking it away? And what a glamour tie it was the next round as well, against Rangers.
I mean, I'm hearing shouts for Clint Dempsey was number 2, but again, you're at least in the right
Centre
area of the
back.
pitch. You know, yes, I know it's usually for flying, overlapping fullbacks, of which he was not, but I think we can do better, I must admit. Right, and what we should do, Hugh, give us the teaser again, because it has been an incredible response, a real variation.
I have played alongside Graham Dorans, Patrick Schick, Lomana Lualua. I've been managed by Roberto Di Matteo and Sven Goran Eriksson. I've won the top flight and cup in my own country, but only one major trophy in Scotland. I've played for 10 clubs across 5 different European countries. Who am I?
Lundstrom Loyal says, is it Kazim Richards?
No.
Nets thinks it might be a man who had a very good midweek in the Champions League, Jeremy Frimpong.
No, not Jeremy.
He's not played for that many clubs. Vinny's Sticky Toffee Puddings says Timo Pukki.
No.
Peter Gray thinks Marc Antoine Fortuny.
Think again.
A lot coming in for Malumbu that we mentioned earlier, and Dave thinks it's Vladimir Weiss.
All right, Dave.
All wrong, Dave, I'm afraid.
Have you any idea?
No chance. No. not a
Nothing at
chance.
all from you two.
No. It's very difficult, that. Cancelo on number 7 plays left back for City.
Okay.
Yeah.
don't
By the way,
mind that.
see, speaking of numbers, I was guilty of it. See, at under 21 level for Scotland, Rainer Bonhoff gave me number 10, and I was playing defensive midfielder, right? And Sean Maloney was in that side. Sean was not happy that I had the number 10.
You were the creative force.
I had
while
the
Sean
number
Maloney
10.
just sat there.
Yeah, I don't even know what number he had, but he kept saying, why on earth would he get it to you?
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
Hibs are now 2 in front. It's Hibs 3, Aberdeen 1. It's Josh Campbell's second of the afternoon, third league goal of the season, I think, for him. And Hibs are now looking comfortable. Hugh Keevins, you've got a Hibby in the family, he'll be happy.
Yeah, that's more like it. You can't help but feel that the double whammy right at the end of the first half, Aberdeen are 1 up and then concede a penalty and Liam Scales is red carded. You can't help but feel that's been the turning point in the game. But it's a good result for
Dave Galloway says it could turn into a rout.
Oh dear.
The Red Army will not be happy. Is there there's no Wimpy in Edinburgh either, so he won't even be able to go and soften the blow at his favourite fast food eatery.
Oh well, you can get it on the road back up. But for Lee Johnson, it's a good day.
Albion Rovers 0-4 for 2. Kyle Hutton with the goal. Ewan Bange has put Queen of the South 3 up on FC Edinburgh, and Montrose have equalised against Alloa through Blair Lions.
You get the impression that out with Celtic, Rangers and Hearts, the rest of them in the league, the other 9 could beat anybody either side on any given day.
Well, I think so far you have to put Hearts in that as well.
I agree with you. I think Hearts.
Look at the results. I know last season it had a bit of a feel of that about it, but if you look at this season so far, whether it's Europe, whether it's injuries, fine, but lost against Livingston, lost against Kelly in the League Cup.
They'll surely take a lift off the European result midweek when they go to Fir Park tomorrow. Robert Snodgrass perhaps making his debut for the Hearts.
Louis Moult starting.
They'll be getting slaughtered. Halliday's in for it.
Oh,
Gordon Dalziel's going to give him what for, he says. That's why he's gone along.
Yeah, Andy. Well, he'll start tomorrow, won't he?
Started during the week, played well actually during the week. He did.
Well,
don't tell him we said it, but he played well in Europe.
No, you've got to give Andy credit where credit's due.
And of course he's sticker famous after the story we told earlier. I think you're up to that song, Hugh. I don't know if you've rehearsed it enough. I don't know whether
he's got to give it a bash, let me tell you.
But just remind us of how it sounds.
Hey, ho, here she go, either a little too high or a little too low. Got no self-esteem and vertigo, 'cause she thinks she's made of candy.
You think you've got that in your locker?
yeah.
Right, okay, right, on 3, let's go.
Oh, here she goes, either a little too high or a little too low. Got no self-esteem and vertigo, 'cause she thinks she's made of Andy.
Brilliant. Oh, what a man. The Emperor of Rome has returned.
You know what? I'm disappointed at how good that was. Actually, I was pretty good. I thought you would have been awful.
Now you know what the people of Venice got treated to.
Yeah,
He's
very good.
What was the name of the
musical
song
talent.
you sang in Venice?
My Foolish Heart.
My Foolish Heart. Brilliant.
Take care.
This one, never heard it in my life. Will never listen to it again.
Oh, I'll be putting that in my music.
Even see, you can tell.
I'd like to hear him getting to the high notes.
Nah, I don't think you would.
Never heard that either.
Never. No, who sings that?
Jose Feliciano.
Never heard him. You know.
Honestly.
Got a one-hit wonder. Hugh,
Not at all. Man was a superstar.
It's funny how you see the different stages of technological understanding here, because you're ahead of him. You're into musical downloads and so on, but still you keep saying, I'm putting that on my music, and holding your phone up to me.
I don't know what you're supposed to say.
I'm going to download that, or I'm going to stream that. That's what the kids
I'm not
would say.
I don't know what's. I'm not streaming. I'm just putting on my phone. And away I
Putting
go.
it on my phone.
Yeah.
Just,
Is it Andy's?
it's the same guy that sang Feliz Navidad, the Christmas song.
Oh, I know that one.
There you are.
Is that the same guy?
So he's not a one-hit
He
wonder.
is good.
There we go.
That was a
Gabby
good Christmas
tasting
one.
music is this
Ooh,
man.
hold on, let off Dundee United. A crazy pass out from Ericsson. Tillman looked for Cholak, but it was saved in the end. So it could have been 3-1. It could have been that gloss. Both teams have had debates about their goalkeeping situation this season. Dundee United get away with that one.
Very interested to hear the callers from Ibrox on their way back from the match, because it's simply not a performance that would have you say, oh well, that they've righted the ship once again. Dundee United, bottom of the league, going to Ibrox, the team that everyone loves to meet, Dundee United, and Rangers have been thoroughly unconvincing.
But you would expect, I think if you win the game, Hugh, and you walk away and the Rangers fans say, well, the Dundee United goalkeeper had the game his life today, man of the match, you can accept that. I just don't see that at all. I think there's something, a sharpness, I don't know what it is, it's missing at Rangers just now.
Rangers now making more chances, though. Ericsson saving this time from a Tillman header, so they may well go on and get that third. Whether that's enough, well, in terms of the Rangers fans, we'll see.
Well, if you're a Rangers fan and you're happy with that, then you're easily pleased, because you're talking about a Champions League group where you played 2 games and you've been hammered in both games. You haven't scored the goal. You're bottom of the group. As Roger Hanna rightly said, Scottish teams in the Champions League, massive gap in quality, but at home Rangers are expected to be better than this.
And you've got to say, if Tillman had a little bit more experience, he'd have probably scored that.
Yeah, I got there.
Well, there's a bit of aggro, as they say. King, is it Leon King that's gone into the book, or is it John Lundstrom? There was a tackle on McGrath. Yes, it was Leon King's tackle on McGrath.
This is an interesting feature of Rangers in the last 4 games. The discipline, I said it earlier.
Sorry, Hugh, just to describe that, because obviously on radio you're trying to do the justice. Think John Lundstrom against Hibs.
Yeah.
Remember the tackle that everyone argued about for so long? Similar. Mulgrew and Barisic getting a bit of a talking to. No bookings though. So yeah, similar from the. We're seeing a lot of those tackles now, aren't we?
Well, from Rangers you are. As I say, 6 bookings midweek. Tavernier booked today. Leon King now booked. He's taken one for the team, Leon King, because Dundee United were moving in a very positive direction, and it's indicative of the afternoon in general. That you can come at this however you like. This is not a good performance from Rangers.
Charlie Mulgrew's not happy. Connor Goldson's arguing it's all kicking off, nothing major. But let's check in on that teaser, Hugh, if you don't mind.
Okay, I have played alongside Graham Dorrans, Patrick Schick, Romana Loa. I've been managed by Roberto Di Matteo and Sven Goran Eriksson. I have won the top flight and cup in my own country, but only won 1 major trophy in Scotland. I have played for 10 clubs across 5 different European countries. Who am I?
Alan has thrown on maybe a former teammate of yours, Mark, Yuri Jarosik.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
play with him.
Yuri. Yeah, I told you a story how he was the one that.
Oh, that's right.
I got stripped, didn't he? And then he wasn't in the squad.
So it's not him.
It's not him.
Right, okay.
Paul Kingswell thinks it's Eyal Berkovic.
Nope.
I can see quite a few right answers though. It just shows
That's
you.
amazing.
Yeah, the standard out there.
Amazing. I never thought anybody. I'm nowhere. My mind was gone early doors with that one.
Oh, there we go. Gordon Stannard has ruined it for me. Stannard, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, Gordon. He says Andy Carroll let his kids pick his squad number. They picked 2 as it was their 2nd birthday.
Oh,
can't ridicule him now, can I? Great.
I think you can actually, because that's even worse then. I thought it was a more, I don't know, sentimental, charitable issue.
It's more sentimental than your own children.
Oh, get away.
On their 2nd birthday.
I hope your 2 sons aren't listening.
Oh man, they would have picked a more adventurous number than 2 for me.
What a game in the Gordon Dalziel derby.
What's the score now?
Raith Rovers 3, Ayr 2. Scott Brown has scored. Partick Thistle 2, Cove Rangers 2. Mark Reynolds.
What about that? That looked done and dusted for Thistle at one stage.
Just it did end up in bookings for Mulgrew and Barisic in the end there. Obviously pushed it too far. Fraser Wishart says, can a 2-year-old choose a number? That's a good point. On your 2nd birthday, they must be pretty smart.
There we go. That's why Carroll should be getting slaughtered.
He's a bit lippy this afternoon.
Yeah, he's chirpy, isn't he? He's picking up quite a lot. But I like that. He keeps us
last
right.
week.
He keeps us right.
He does.
He's well past his best enemy. Carry on.
Fraser.
That's harsh.
What's up with Fraser?
Andy Carroll.
Andy Carroll, alright, okay.
He's past his best at 19.
Alloa 2, Montrose 1. Bradley Rodden with the goal, 87 minutes. We're in that territory now where any late goal might have serious ramifications on the outcome of the game. I mean, if there were to be a Dundee United equaliser, oh my goodness, the reaction on these phone lines would be quite something. In fact, it might not end at 6. We might need to extend it. But even if it stays this way, I think we'll get some grumbles from Rangers fans, but never
for
mind.
sure.
But 3 points in the bag as it stands. Hibs have got it 1, you would have to imagine. 3-1 against 10-man Aberdeen. Can Kelly find a late equaliser to break Marvin Bartley's heart? And will we get anything at all at St Johnstone, Ross County? Cujo is on for what for Dundee United?
It's Liverpool home and away for Rangers next, isn't it?
Yes.
That's going to be sore unless they can find an improvement.
Away first, is it? Is it Anfield first, I think? Yeah. So
Anfield first.
it's a difficult run of fixtures. That's why you could have been doing with first a result, of course, here, but a real performance, a real statement. Like you was saying, a 4 or a 5. It's been anything but that.
No.
There's been
Is
chances
the next league
created,
game not
but
Tynecastle as well? Am I right in saying that?
Hearts away, yeah. So, you know, they have to go away. The guys in international duty do their bit there, but the guys that remain at the club, then Van Bronckhorst got a wee bit of work to do, man.
I like this. This is a good one. Sean Murray has reminded me of the time that Steve Sidwell was number 9 at Chelsea.
Was he?
Remember that?
can't
I saw him
remember
at the
that one.
Open this year. He's a big golf fan. He was
Is
up.
he?
Yeah, I saw him at the Open. Number 9, that's a good shout.
Good
And Izzy,
player.
same as you, Mark Cancelo, number 7, Man City.
7 for a left back's never good, is it?
Everyone's making me feel bad now. It's some sort of tribute to Andy Carroll's 2-year-old children. Fine, okay. Couple of minutes left. Can Cujo be the man who makes the late impact for Dundee United?
He played the tail end
Yeah,
of the
he's tricky.
season,
Yeah,
remember, up
he's
front at
exciting.
Ibrox.
Okay, Dundee United have now claimed for a penalty. That doesn't mean there's anything
Second one.
in the claim, but there we are, because at this stage of the game, I've got shades of Malky Mackay being unhappy at Ibrox a couple of weeks ago. Tillman's challenge, quite a tough one for David Friel to tell, he says, from his vantage point in the stand. If there are any producer Callum will come in raging about it. The early suggestions as well, is it even inside the box? That would be another issue. Is it inside the box or is it a foul? Kevin Clancy says no on both fronts. So we'll see what Liam Fox thinks of that at the end of the game. Wonder if he's got a case. Airdrie 5, Clyde 0.
That's a thumping.
Salim Kudir Isa has scored on 89 minutes.
Remember him a couple of years ago?
Yeah, he's scoring
Was it
good.
at Queen's Park? Yeah, then went to Livy. Sure, it was Livy. Didn't do anything. Now
Oh,
he's back
that's right,
scoring.
yeah,
He
yeah.
scored every week, that boy.
Yeah.
Good player.
Roger Hanna's gone all the way to Perth. He's watched St
Oh, no.
Johnstone
I know.
0, Ross County 0, 4 minutes added. Make it 14, ref.
Yeah.
County are pushing hard though, he says. So that would be dramatic stuff if they could get a winner.
The only guy who gets his photograph taken and it's in his own paper.
He's told everybody under him that better be in on Saturday.
You got my right side in here.
3 added at Ibrox. So is there a sting in the tail for Rangers? It would be quite something, because when they went 1 up early on, it looked like this could have been anything. But credit to Dundee United.
Are we surprised that Morelos isn't on the pitch?
I am.
Yeah, you know, I heard David, and I totally agree with David at Ibrox when he said, look, he's just back 6 months the other night there. But surely in a game like this, I know that Cholak scored 2 goals, be very hard to sub him, but surely if you're getting him up to speed as well.
I mean,
Yeah,
if he's fit enough to be on the bench, there's now an international break. Would you not be as well getting some
that's
minutes
my
in the
point.
leg? And then
That's my point.
look, there's a lot going on for the Rangers fans at the moment. Got to say, happy by name and ambitious by nature. Dundee United man's just tried to header it from about 20 yards out
To score.
which is tough. It's tough to do.
Well, you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle.
You used to see loads of goals like that in your day. In Daz's
In my
day.
day?
Aye, like centre
Big
half
daft
scoring for like
headers from
20
outside the
yards
box.
and the goalkeeper's jumping about because he had no gloves on.
You wouldn't get a game in my day, mate. That's the difference. You and Chaduri, or whatever you call him.
He was an international
Chaduri.
fullback.
But at
Got
this
100
day, you get
caps for
caps
South
for
Korea.
You get caps for just visiting the country. Hugh would have come back with a cap with Italy if he'd have been a bit younger.
Rangers have got a corner and they're not really rushing to take it, so it maybe tells you a bit about
They'll take the 3 points.
yeah, where they feel things are at the moment, Hugh.
Yeah. For Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, it's simply a stay of execution. It's keeping the crowd at bay, but the crowd will know what they're looking at the moment, and what they're looking at is uninspiring. And to be playing the team at the bottom of the league and to be holding on, and at the end of the day stalling for time, tells you all you need to know.
I mean, at the same time, Gordon, the time is almost up, so you've not got time to turn this into a doing anyway.
Yeah.
Can we really hold that against Rangers? Just make sure you get the 3 points. You always talk about teams managing games. Obviously you'd have rather scored more, but there's 92 on the clock. Does 3-1 make any difference?
No, I'm Van Bronckhorst. I'm saying make sure we don't concede. Right? I'm not bothered about scoring. The 3 points are there. You can take that and move on and just, come out and say, right, okay, most important thing's win the game.
Let's round this off, Hugh, if we can.
Okay.
The second half teaser.
With the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
I played alongside Graham Dorans, Patrick Schick and Lomana Lualua. I've been managed by Roberto Di Matteo and Sven-Goran Eriksson. I've won the top flight and cup in my own country, but only one major trophy in Scotland. I played for 10 clubs.
Sorry, just quickly, chances for Dundee United at the end blocked. Rangers are hanging on a point. Carry on.
I played for 10 clubs across 5 different European countries. Who am I? I'm Roman Bednar.
Well done if you got it right. Brilliant question. Really impressive stuff. I'll tell you what I'll do is third place was Louise Fulton. Well done, Louise. Div Walker second. Craig Gowran the winner. Well done, Craig. It is now full time at Ibrox and Rangers have hung on. They've got the 3 points despite a spirited second half from Dundee United. It was not vintage Rangers by any means, but the 3 points do go on the board. It looked like they would have a really comfortable afternoon. Chances early on. Ryan Kent fluffed a very simple one. It didn't prove costly for long because Antonio Cholak put them in front, and at that point you thought the floodgates would have opened, you have to say, but it didn't prove to be that case. At the start of the second half there were starting to be some grumbles. Antonio Cholak scored early in the second half, taking his goal tally up another one, and again you thought maybe that's the point for Rangers to kick on and make it convincing, but it didn't happen either. And actually Dundee United it was who got the next goal. A nice move when Happy came on, he linked up, he played it into Liam Smith, he found the back of the net. Maybe Alan McGregor could have done better. The ball sort of hit his foot and went underneath him and spun up into the roof of the net. And after that, I mean, of course Rangers had chances at home, but you could have said that Dundee United looked the more likely, and even right at the end pressing, felt they should have had a corner, but the full-time whistle went, and in the end it's Rangers 2, Dundee United 1. How satisfactory will that be, Hugh?
No, not for me, and I suspect not for the vast majority of Rangers supporters. There are no negatives in a win. However, there were negatives in Rangers' performance level, and they simply don't look like a team who would inspire you to think that they can take the lead back from Celtic.
So that's your first full time. Rangers fans, where are you? What did you make of it today? Now is the time to phone 01419511025. It's finished at Easter Road. Not yet, in fact that's the last one, isn't it? It's finished in Livingston. Fraser Wishart.
Livingston 1, Kilmarnock 0, a third 1-0 victory of the season for Livy. Not a game for the purists, a real physical battle, only a few flickers of football, and it was left back Christian Montano that scored the winning goal for the second game in a row. Not too much to talk about in the first half. The opener came in the 25th minute, it turned out to be the winner. A very simple goal. Sean Kelly with an in-swinging corner from the light, and left back Christian Montano rose unchallenged to beat Hemmings to the ball to head home from 6 yards. Holt almost made it 2. His shot was blocked just a 2 yards from goal by Power. For Kelly, their only effort in the first half, a deflected Armstrong cross that was pushed away by Shamal George. Montano came close in the 53rd minute to making it 2-0. Angle's shot from the left, inches over the bar, but in general the quality of the game hadn't improved. Plenty of endeavour and fight, but no real chances at either end. Denny McInnes did make a triple change on the hour, a sign he was unhappy, and rightly, because Livy were the stronger and the better team. Before the game had disrupted by a lot of injury stoppages. Concalves, the sub, could have put the game to bed in the 75th minute. He couldn't hit the target with a header from a Bahambula cross. Shamal George then had to move quickly to touch over a mishit Fraser Murray cross, but the big chance for Kelly to get a point from the game came in the 83rd minute. Murray whipped in a free kick. Christian Doidge, free header, back post, headed it back across the goalkeeper, but headed it 2 yards wide. A great deserved 3 points for Livy. Better team throughout. They're now up to third in the table. For Kelly, Denny McInnes going to have to find a way of creating more chances if they're going to get up the SPFL Premiership table. Full time here, Livingston 1, Kilmarnock 0.
Roger Hanna was at McDermott Park for St Johnstone, Ross County. How did it finish?
Yeah, finishing Johnson 0, Ross County 0. Gordon, no goals, few real goal scoring opportunities either, and the game sort of petered out here in the second half. If you're looking for positives, it's a first away point of the season for the Staggies, and it's another clean sheet for St Johnstone after their home win here against St Mirren a couple of weeks ago. And the point of peace does edge both teams further away from Kilmarnock and Dundee United at the bottom of the Premiership table tonight after defeats for those two clubs. It was a bright start to the game actually in the first 10 minutes. Both sides hit the woodwork. Stevie May had a shot off the post after it had been beaten Ross Laidlaw after 6 minutes, and then in 9 minutes at the other end, good play by William Ackhill to get away from Andy Considine. He teed up a chance for Kazim Ola-Igbe, but his shot came back off the underside of the bar and flew to safety. Ola-Igbe another chance in 19 minutes, Ben Purrington the creator, but he dragged a shot wide when he really should have tested Remy Matthews in the Saints goal. Ryan McGowan centre midfield for Saints, he was booked for a foul on Jack Baldwin midway through the first half, and then shortly afterwards Andy Considine had a decent chance with a shot inside the 6-yard box from a corner, saved well by Laidlaw. Second half, real few opportunities. David Kincola had a shot from 20 yards for Ross County that was held by Saints keeper Matthews at the second attempt. Both sides trying hard. Malcolm Mackay made all 5 changes in the second half. On came Awura, Luturi, Danda, Samuels and Haywola, but none of them could find a way past Matthews in goal. Ali Crawford at the other end, he came off the bench. He had a shot off target just 2 minutes from the end from a Dree right pass. That was as close as they came in the second half. County trying hard deep into added time, a couple of corners as well. They just didn't manage to threaten Matthews in the goal at all. I think the less said about this game the better. St Johnstone 0, Ross County 0.
I look forward to reading more about it in the Scottish Sun tomorrow. Let's go to Easter Road. It's also finished there, Dave Galloway.
Yep, Hibs 3, Aberdeen 1. A dream start for the visitors as they took the lead in the 4th minute with a superbly executed goal. Coulson's cross from the left, brilliantly guided home by Duke, making his first start for Aberdeen. Hibs hit back and started to dominate possession. From a corner there was a goalmouth scramble, but Hanlon couldn't force the ball in from point blank range. However, the flag went up for offside. As half time beckoned, Ewan forced Roos into a quite brilliant save to keep out a well struck drive from over 20 yards. But a minute into first half injury time, Hibs got a penalty. Scales fouled Porteous and he got a second yellow card, so off he went, and Boyle sent Roos the wrong way with his penalty kick for a very well deserved equaliser. Hibs were all over Aberdeen as soon as the second half got underway. Roos cut out a dangerous cross and then looked very lively to deal with Newell on the follow up. It was no surprise at all when the hosts went 2-1 ahead on 63 minutes. Nice lead up work indeed from Cadden, and a really neat turn and shot by Campbell did the rest. Around 10 minutes later, the same player made it 3-1 from close range, bundling home after Kukarevich headed the ball on. Soon after that, at the other end, Majowski missed an absolute sitter, somehow shooting wide after Richardson picked him out. He was in splendid isolation. That kind of summed up Aberdeen's afternoon, if you're being honest, as they barely laid the glove on their hosts after scoring so early. Thoroughly deserved victory for the Hibees. Hibs 3, Aberdeen 1.
And now it's over to you. Come on then, what have you made of today's football? What are you thinking ahead of tomorrow? And anything else that might be on your mind, this is the time and the place to share it. The open line is here, your chance to have your say, so please get in touch. 0141 951 1025. Rangers fans, you're back to winning ways, you're back to scoring ways. Is that enough for you, or were you frustrated at the performance today? You'll be leaving Ibrox just now. Why not pick up the phone and give us an eyewitness account of what it was like? Good win. Any Hibs fans out there, it would be nice to hear from you. And then of course attention turns to tomorrow, St Mirren against Celtic. How do we see that one going? Will Ange Postecoglou experiment with some squad rotation, or one more game to the international break, keep it as is? Hearts off the back of European exploits, heading to Fir Park. It is all there, so come on, please join in. We love speaking to you on a Saturday afternoon. 0141 951 1025, and the open line is next.
After the action, it's your reaction. 0141